Hello, my name's Andy Law, and welcome back to LAWhammer. Oh, it has been a long time since we all got together and roleplayed in the dark, grim, wondrous world of Warhammer. I'm still not entirely well, but I'm more than well enough to get some Warhammer on. So, that being the case, as always, we have a few things to open with before we get going. Number one, we'll start with what I feel is a super exciting thing. Next week is our Halloween episode. Now, I'm not suggesting that everyone will dress up, because I know that certain people don't like doing that sort of thing, and we're not the kind of folks to demand such. But we are nevertheless having a nice little special, a little tricky treat, where we are, in character, at some point during the course of the episode, getting involved with some...
What?
Dog deeds!
I'm watching on 480p.
So yes, we'll be having a little bit of fun alongside all the horrors that lay ahead our characters. Exactly how that will come to pass, you will see. But I'm particularly looking forward to it, not just because we get to play a little bit of Dark Deeds, but because we get to show one of the ways you can use that game a bit differently. After all, we're going to be using it as a game in the Warhammer world, not just a game that we happen to be playing because it's fun and we're doing it in character. It's going to be an actual game inside our game.
Because that's how we roll.
Because that's how we roll. So, looking forward to that quite a lot. But before we get into the actual shenanigans, let's do some XP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we all ready? Are we all ready?
Yes.
Actually, before we do that, I'm going to say, I can hear myself, Erin. Can you turn the volume down?
I thought it was just...
No, it was me. I could hear myself and it was putting me off. Right, so XP. So the last episode, episode 47, which happened approximately 10 years ago, was the shadow of the horned rat. And there was a particular horned rat who zapped at least one of you really rather nastily.
Rude.
It was rather rude, wasn't it? It was an episode where we saw quite a few interesting things, including one person who looked rather like Gerhardt getting his head staved open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice little gear Gerhardt.
Yeah, indeed.
Gerhardt.
Gerhardt. Nicely done. So, XP. You can all have 110.
Oh,
110. Nice. Other than that, we also have a bit of a special episode of Inside the Rookery coming up tomorrow, and I'm about to pounce on Lindsay about that. She's totally prepared for this. Raindrops and roses, away you go.
and whiskers on kittens. We tomorrow are having our birthday episode of Inside the Rookery, and we, myself, Andy Leask, Andy Law, and Mark Gibbons will be talking about our favourite gaming things, or just generally nerdy, geeky things. I've compiled lists of my favourite violin concertos, my favourite symphonies, my top 5 Russian composers. So yeah, it's going to be riveting. Do please come.
and your acid jazz likes.
And my acid jazz likes.
Because you do so love acid jazz.
Send Lindsay acid jazz songs. She's anything you've got going.
So please come
yeah.
and watch us tomorrow on the Rookery Publications YouTube channel or on Twitch, where we will be talking about loads of cool stuff.
Indeed. That's going to be super fun. Contrary to the whole Russian composer suggestions, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, obviously, Dan.
Wow. So,
I can't keep up with them. They're always rushing around.
hey!
Yeah, boo. Jokes are bad and you should feel bad.
I'm so glad to be back.
We've missed you, Ed.
So, this week it's episode
I swerved and everything.
49. It is, however, also our 100th actual episode. Number 100. Now, you might be going, how could it be episode 48? Oh,
100.
nicely done. How could it be episode 48 and also episode 100? Because we have had 52 side streams and 48 core episodes, which gives us a nice round 100. Some of those are yet to be uploaded. 2 have yet to be taped. 3 have yet to be taped. So they're going down. We've been, as you probably know, rejigging all of our sound. The rejig has been done. Hopefully, you can hear me nice and clearly. And we're going to be putting those up hopefully next week or so. But episode 100. That being the case, I thought it'd be fun for us to revisit someone. You'll find out more as we get going. Because after all, episode 48 has already been named Dark Omen. Deep in the Forest of Shadows, an old man makes his way up a rickety stairwell. He is not happy to be here, and he wheezes underneath his breath. I don't want to be here. As he makes his way up. I have no idea why you've taken me all the way here. And he tilts his head, pauses, reaches out for a branch or something to hold himself onto, misses, swipes, stops. And then goes, well, it's a terrible idea. He says, I don't know why I listened to you. And makes his way further up the stairs. Ahead of him, a path levels out. And a big sepulchre sits before him.
Yes.
Skulls carved into the door on either side. A dark, open portal. No. He says, no. And takes one step back. As this is happening, a coach draws up in the center of the Midden Flats, where a large group are already prepared to be taken away on their journey. Not everybody is here as of yet. It is a relatively large party that intends to make its way all the way over to Brass Keep. But nobody here has been talking about this, because the entirety of this mission is secret. Because there is a certain Boris Todbringer who doesn't want anybody to know that he's lost his sword. Fair. Yeah, quite. Particularly given that there will be those who will literally move against him, should they find out about it. It is the quiet part of the mission. You carry, in fact, Gerhardt carries a scroll case. On the scroll case is the heraldic device of Middenheim itself. Top part blue, bottom half white. On the blue part is a running white wolf. On the white part, a blue castle. And inside there is a very simple order. You act on behalf of the Elector Count of Middenheim.
Cool.
All subjects must respond as if any order from you comes from him.
Oh, that's dangerous. Why we're not going to
And I'm
use that?
carrying this.
Diplomatic immunity, baby.
You are, after all, the noble. And it is Jungfreud's Jaegers, not, Father Leopold Jaegers.
Not the
Or
only noble.
Look,
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's not the only noble. That's correct. We've got royalty.
Real noble.
Outrageous.
Flipping something.
I'm shocked to the bone. Give me that scroll. I'm going to ruin this game.
Underneath
Set it on fire. Done.
a large wide-brimmed hat with a scarf around his neck is Lucas. He picks at his eye patch and looks around shadily at anyone that looks like they might be looking at him. He feels like at any moment someone's going to jump and say, "You're a secret Jawbringer!" Nobody cares at all. Nevertheless, he does, as he pulls his hat down and adjusts the large feather. He looks over towards Gerhardt and says, Do look after the scroll case properly. Are you sure you don't want me to carry it?
No, it's all right. I've got it. Looks quite good. Sort of draped across the chest here. Very official. What do you think?
Are we going to go inside or on top of the coach? Inside, good. With a large smile.
Watch your stuff.
With a large smile on his face, Leopold, Father Leopold, comes along with his novitiate. She sits, coming up to not more than about halfway up his arm. Her hair in a bob cut, nice fringe at the front, as she carries a large rucksack with various scrolls sticking out of it at different angles. And she has to move at quite a pace from her perspective because of your long stride, big, long-legged fellow that you are. As she looks with both excitement and fear on her face at the coach, which is marked on the side with the heraldry of Middenheim. It moves on Middenheim's business. It's not a large golden coach of wonder. Quite the opposite. If anything, this is their more discreet coach. But nevertheless, it has the heraldry of Middenheim upon it. This is part of Middenheim's remit. You were meant to be here on the hour. The hour has yet to come. Came a little bit early. It's always good to show your novitiate what's right. Birdie, by comparison, or should we say, Lady Knight. Helstein. A noble. Lady Knight Helstein is running late. Because she just does not like having all of her armour put on her. And it's alien and strange.
She had a watch to keep looking at it.
She's the one causing the problems. Too tight. It will come off if you do. It has to be tighter. Too tight.
I can't breathe.
But it's your greaves.
Howard, by comparison's already there. Sitting on the luggage, waiting for everyone else to arrive, do their thing. Probably with his grimoire, checking it out, doing his thing, leafing through it as he looks up and sees that. Which Ume is it today?
Sume?
It's Sumi. Sumi. As she wanders up, the bells are about to ring. She knows when she's meant to arrive. The servant that has been appointed to her by the palace is carrying her bags behind her. There's a small part of her that can't escape her upbringing. And she doesn't really think about it too much.
Yeah.
She might have just carried it herself if she'd come from more humble origins, but she hasn't. People are meant to carry her stuff. And indeed they are.
Plus they like doing it.
Of course they do. It's exactly what they like to do.
I don't like being on this side of the table. Alamenowith
comes from the palace far, far, far to the right and is making her way over now. And beside her is a far, far taller individual who looks like what many people think Sigmar looked like. No other way of putting it. He's almost 7 foot tall. And he is exceedingly muscly.
Finally.
He has a breastplate on, and in the centre there's a big bull head. He's got a breastplate.
Because it's not for long.
Lasts a surprisingly long amount of time without losing it.
In the bull-headed's mouth is a fish.
Oh. Kind of fish.
Just a fish.
It's just heraldry.
Is it just heraldry?
But it could
it's
be a
not an
swordfish.
actual fish.
No, is it a sword
Yeah.
fish?
Oh, I see, right.
That's what he's...
It's just a fish. Fuck! Not a sword.
With a sword in its mouth.
It is unarmed.
With another fish skewered on the side.
Alamenowith, this tall individual, with his broad shoulders. He's young. Really quite young. Probably younger than all of you, bar maybe you may. Certainly not old enough yet to be growing anything upon his chin. Entirely clean shaven as he is. Bless his soul, yes, quite.
We're going to break him, aren't we?
As he walks along carrying all of Alamenowith's stuff. You already know who this is because you discussed it about him the previous day. Apparently his name is Calixt, and he is a noble from Ostland, bordering right on the land you intend to go to, Brasskeep.
He's the one that sent you the letter. The letter that said, "Tall girl, will you go to lunch with me?" This is him.
Ah! It's a shame we didn't get the chance.
Indeed, it has not occurred. As he's walking along, looking somewhat nervous as he carries the luggage. Coachman hops off, looks over at the luggage as it stands up and goes, "Right, suppose we better get started. Do you mind moving?" He says, "I'll get these on."
And stand up.
Oh. You give us an hand?
Well, I'm not being paid to do that, am I?
Right, you are.
Oh, I'm just pulling your leg. Come on.
He says, "There's just a single coachman. There is no extra footman. There is no one to help him." Upon seeing this, though, clicks it, comes up, and he goes, "Aye, I'll give a hand," and starts lifting up.
One thing that I'm strong.
You're redundant.
Oh.
Said the wizard.
Can't simply catch his light. Oops.
And he goes, "Aye, there we go." And looks around. Here, coachman." And turns around. Hey, says, "I'll be foot." He says, and moves up and stands on the back of the coach.
I don't think you'll sit anywhere else.
He looks down. Aye. He looks quite nervous. Brushes
You
his
haven't
long
even-
blonde hair.
This is Calixt of House Sackensea.
Aye.
This is Elric, wizard.
House Sackensea.
Sackensea.
Right.
Sackensky.
What's that mean?
Sackensky.
Sackensea.
It's Ostland. You don't have to ask Mark. He'll tell you all about the history.
He's from the border. Their lands are on the border of Ostland, Nordland, and Hochland, near Brasskeep.
My father's responsible for looking after the picket line there. He says, so if my father's there, suppose I'll help. He says, Lucas looks on and goes, "Marvellous, good. Shall we go inside?"
Yeah, after you. Sorry, this. You brought this one?
He is one of the, what's the word? The footmen?
Valet.
He is one of the valets of the Baron of Middenheim, and she asked him to
A half
attend
smile
me.
quirks across his face, Baron. He says under his breath.
Right, okay.
The princess.
No, I understand. I am also a baron. Yes. It's been a shit week. Right. Good. Okay. Fine. So he knows what's going on.
His eyes widen slightly.
As in, we have an important thing that we have to go and do.
Exactly. And
Yes,
his
okay,
father
good.
looks after the pickets.
Right.
line
That's
of
that's
Ostland.
that's it. Excellent. Good.
20 minutes. Gosh. That's all that you lasted.
Lucas is dead.
Lucas sticks his head out and says, "Pardon?"
Don't worry about it, Lucas.
Oh, right, of
Get
course.
back in there.
And he says, "Do you want to be in the middle or on the side?"
I'll take the middle.
Right.
Spread out a bit.
I get the window. Excellent. He pokes his head out the side. Oh, marvellous. Do you think it's going to be this hot the whole way?
The window is more dangerous, Lucas. Maybe you should go in the middle.
Oh, no. He says, "I think it's far more appropriate that I should go in the middle."
Who else go inside? Father?
I mean, if there's not enough space, I can go on top.
There's an issue. Even looking inside. It's relatively spacious. You're a big guy, but you'll fit in there. Problem's not really you alone. It's your big hafted hammer. Taking it in there is going to be just awkward. You might be better on top. Or leaving it on top and you inside, but it's your special hammer. Do you really want to do that?
Oh, I up top.
Up top, there's even a space if you want to sit beside the coachman, because he's the only one who's there. You could really help with your blind driving skills.
I mean,
Take a left up here.
weirdly, he probably could.
We're fine!
Sigmar, take the reins.
Sigmar, guide us! Perfect. So going up top, as Lady Knight makes her way over.
Clank. Doesn't clank though, because it's nice and padded.
Is indeed nice and padded as you make your way along. Much like most of the Knight's Panther, your armour is specifically padded to ensure that it makes as little noise as possible. It does, however, make it a bit tighter sometimes, a bit more stiflingly warm.
Everything's fine.
In this hot heat, you're beating up a little bit of sweat. Your squire appears not to be as bothered at all, but it could be because he wears significantly less armour than you.
Are they bringing their horses?
No.
Oh.
We're not ready for that.
No. This was a decision of the squire, who after an evening's worth of riding with you was like, no, really bad idea.
I did not fight
Really
him.
bad idea.
But you were doing so well the other day. No, I wasn't.
As he looks forward, looks up and says, I suggest that you go in the coach.
You think?
Says, yeah. It'll be cooler and give you an opportunity to get used to your armor.
Thank you. I appreciate your thought.
He says, the step into the coach is made of metal. It will take your weight. You don't need to appear...
Tentative.
Yes. You need to move with confidence. Think you can do that?
Yes.
Good. Says, consider this practice. Eventually, people who are master will be watching. Says, they won't be watching me, they'll be watching you.
Rude. Shoot this guy.
Thank you, Garrett. I appreciate it.
Is Magritte coming with us?
She is not.
Is she
What?
not well?
She is not.
She's not well, or she's not coming?
She's just not coming.
She's not coming. And she's not well.
No.
Get to that in a moment. As
We're fucked.
yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd have a really good wizard with us.
That was his only thing!
Wow. Strong, and I'm a wizard, and I'll spend fate points when I have to.
Harsh.
As he comes forward and he says, I'll stand beside you as you make your way up, lest you need support.
Here's hoping I don't.
Here's hoping that you don't. He says, nods once, as Birdie comes not clanking up. Your novitiate can't help but suppress a smile. You can almost feel the glow of excitement coming from her. It's almost palpable. Yep, she walks in Sigmar steps. Of that you're pretty certain. And the excitement of doing good and going somewhere that nobody's supposed to go is clear.
I was
Because
hoping it was my
if no one's supposed to go there, there's an opportunity where she'll get to map it, observe it, record it. And you know that's something that gives her strong motivation. And will hopefully even get over her fear should there be anything awful there. She clambers up the rungs on the side of the coach and sits up on the top behind the small iron fence. It's not really a fence. What we've got, rail would be better. Rail, sits down, ensconces herself under a small blanket, pulls out a book of prayers, and starts reading as she looks around.
Sumi, are you going up or in?
I'm not sure how much space is there to look inside.
Oh, there's quite a lot of space. There's
It's just Lucas and
easy
Gerhard
space
at
for
the
6 people in there.
moment. Oh, did you get it?
And
Well,
the
I don't
square.
know. And your is your squire going?
That's Birdie coming up behind you now, presumably to go in as your squire moves to the side and just stands there.
Do you have ranged weapons?
Yes.
I think we should be on top.
That makes sense. So I can fan away anyone approaching.
Pushing by them and getting in.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to have. Because yes, you're doing one. A simple athletics test.
Right, I'm going to use my single fate point to get
Oh,
back.
Fortune and fate. Falls, dies, neck broken.
Well, it was an 88, so
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
that's a great
Wow.
start.
A good fumble.
First roll.
So 2 fails.
Could be worse. As you go up,
The squire's assisting though, isn't he?
yeah. He's about to do exactly that. As she teeters off to one side and realizes that her central gravity is not where she's used to it being, and begins to, as he holds her, pushes her back, and says, "Well done, Mum." And in you go.
She can only say, I need to practice this.
As he then goes up and doesn't say out loud, "This is why we didn't take offices." It's
We're all
crash.
thinking.
Crash. Crash. Winnie. As he moves up on the top. As on the inside is Lucas and Gerhardt. Lucas looks over and goes, "Golly."
Morning, Lucas.
Oil.
He's Irish.
Golly.
He's so shocked he's changed accent.
Golly. He says, you look rather impressive, Mom, if I do say so myself.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you, Lucas. It's not the most comfortable yet.
I'm a little surprised that you're wearing it on the go, so to speak.
I need to get used to it.
Rather.
Mm,
He
it's
says,
very warm.
do you mind me pointing out that you appear to teeter as you came in?
You're not the only one that was worried about that. I need practice. I've not had any time.
I thought it was very graceful.
Thank you.
Welcome to, the better way of living. Carriage.
He
Easy for you to say. You're not wearing half a ton of metal.
That's very true. That's very true.
he settles into the blue leather seats with a smile on his face. He says, I do hope everybody wants to go up above. He says, wouldn't that be rather marvellous? We'd have the whole place to ourselves.
Oh, feet up.
No.
No, well,
There's a
you
slight-
No.
you can feet up there if you want to.
I mean, I could.
Yes.
But no, that'd be wrong.
Lucas, footstool.
Footstool
On your hands
now.
and knees.
Elric, going up and down.
I was going to go up, but now that I've heard that. No, Elric will go on top.
Yep, on top as well. Going to get quite crowded up there. So,
Cool kids on top.
cool kids on top.
Say, Emmanuel, if you wish to go inside and read your book, I think we will be able to protect the top of the coach.
Her eyes widen as you address her. She shakes her head slowly.
No, I think it's fine for her to stay up with us just now.
Surely she
You
could
can
come
feel
from
the palpable relief of you stepping in.
What she doesn't know is it's because I know she needs to put her endurance skill up. So-
I'll minimize it. Up and down.
game in the system.
I think up makes sense because I've got
You're
the best
going to find it tough. There's not a lot of space up there. As you look up, and most of the top of the coach is taken by the fathers in front.
Unless you need the space, I suppose.
Well, if we're likely to get attacked, I'll probably see it first. Or if I'm up top.
I think there's a weak link on top of the coach.
Horseman fair.
It's you, just in case you weren't clear.
Who shot
It's you,
the
man.
cultist and saved Gerhard from getting kidnapped that one time?
One time,
Coachman.
amazing.
Is he a coachman?
Yes, he turns around, looks at you, his eyes wide slightly,
Fireballs and
goes,
everything.
aye.
How safe is the road? Should I be up there on watch all the time?
He says,
Collects?
no, we're just driving to Sock today. He says, it's about as clear as it comes.
I will go inside. Sumi?
Well, apparently I'm not wanted here, so I'm going inside too.
Good. You'll
Lads,
be
lads,
very
lads.
welcome.
And lady.
Gerhard
Lucas.
put his feet on the seats.
Lucas looks around and goes, oh, well, it was almost. Never mind.
Oh, okay. All right. You coming in?
Hello,
are you?
Lady Sumi.
Hello.
Says,
Such a mild reaction to Lucas being alive.
Oh, we seen him
What's up?
yesterday.
Oh,
Sam.
Hello.
Hello. Alberto.
hello.
Looks up. I can hear you.
Good.
As the coachman turns to you and says, is that everybody? Do we have anyone we need to wait for? Says, I was told to go on tower.
Oh,
Have you got Draco?
Birdie Paul.
Me too.
You read my mind because Birdie just lets out a very shrill whistle,
Bound. He was over in the bushes.
How is it supposed to work?
doing his thing.
Does he have doggy armor?
He does
Oh
not.
my God.
That was
Oh.
one of my short-term ambitions from ages ago. So
Has
I'll
yet
have
to occur.
revisit it.
As he
I
bounds
want him in
over
like a
and
little
then
doggy breastplate.
looks at the.
Like a little rat on its head.
Can I ever change a short-term ambition
Oh,
to craft armor?
oh, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
As he looks up at the
Fucking
open
what?
door and the step. Whoa. That involved going up, and the fact that the step has holes in it does not look happy at all, and growls at the step.
Can I lean down and grab
Of
it
course
when
you
I'm
can.
falling out of
Athletics
the carriage?
test.
Also, Tumi now
I'll
remembers that there was someone who brought her back, so she'll say thank you.
I'll put a hand on just to balance.
Thank you. 0 successes.
Absolutely
I do not
perfect.
fall
As you
out
reach
of the
down,
carriage.
as he's sniffing at your armor, quite unsure,
Yeah,
takes a
me
bite
too.
at it. It doesn't go too well.
I suddenly realise that this is an advantage now. Yes.
Is he staying in now?
Yes.
Lucas goes, marvelous.
Right. Okay.
Marvelous.
Would you not? Do you think
Doggy
he
farts.
looks like he would enjoy it upstairs?
Is it not that nobles are supposed to have lapdogs?
Yes, there is lapdogs, and then there's there's that. So
I think he needs more training if he is to be a lapdog.
We can work on that, can't we? Ruff.
He growls.
I have some fruit and nuts. Do you think he would like some?
It's poisonous for dogs. No. Stop it.
yes, yes.
I am conflicted.
You're not even here.
As the driver
Dan
looks at you.
is saying.
I think that's everyone. Yes.
Right, he says,
Is Spengler not coming?
He's
Because
wounded
Spengler's our
too.
man.
He's wounded too,
yeah.
and we couldn't
Do you not
get.
jizz on him?
No, because
Oh.
unfortunately, I've got some news to. Do you remember the Jade Wizard who helped us? He's dead too.
Oh no!
What?
A piece of stone landed on him.
Oh.
Goodness.
That's
What?
What?
Can I work through
Post
this, or did you
explosion.
say this beyond the?
I'll have shared it.
Shared with the previous
Very
version.
coincidental.
But we met him
After
after the explosion.
Maybe he died in another way. I'm sure they said a piece of stone landed on him
He did.
Who's they?
But
when I inquired about him.
To
The
who?
graph. The graph tool.
that a piece of stone. He was also not entirely happy with this gentleman, was he?
He wouldn't have murdered him.
yeah,
Take that back.
it's very useful.
No,
at the very
no one said murder. You said murder.
Well, the
No, she
implication
said
was clear.
explosion.
She just said murder there. Use your ears.
Well, I mean, he did say if he saw him again, he would. And Boris is not the most,
Yes, but when he told us, he was very upset about it because he couldn't help other people, his subjects who were dying, because one of the only wizards. Oh no, it wasn't a piece of stone. Sorry, my mistake. He was forced to channel so much and so often to save people, which he wanted to do, that he burnt himself out and died.
Oh.
It's quite a different story.
Lucas has empathic 3 now.
Mhm.
Can you just get a vibe on whether that's legit?
What's your I'm a liar McLiar face talent?
Being elemental.
Being elemental. What is the
Cat
talent
tongue.
you're looking for?
It's all right. Lucas has no idea.
Okay.
Are you sure they didn't say he was stoned?
No, it definitely. I was getting mixed up with someone else who had a piece of rock fall on them. There was an incident. Some wizards died, and he was trying to help people. You know, it's why they put people on shifts. Leopold, they put people on shifts, didn't they?
You can hear
Because people, because people
He just sitting up there like that.
push themselves too
The
hard.
coach begins to
People
move on.
pushed themselves too hard, but in his case, pushing himself too hard meant he drew far too much gyron, burnt himself out, and his head exploded.
Oh.
Let that be a
Can
lesson
Elric
to all
hear all
would-be
this?
wizards.
Yeah. I mean, she's not exactly being quiet.
Lore magic check.
And that's, well, it's not just likely that has happened.
Oh.
You're aware wizards often, when they do too much and they go
He
past
was-
their limits, they not just burn out. Some of them die, blow up, things go wrong, their arms fall off, all sorts of crazy
He had-
Stuff like that not be like in extreme situations of battle, etc. rather than like and then like novitiates going on. But this guy was quite tenured.
It can happen to anyone. Anyone. At any time. I mean, for example, 88.
Oh my god, my head's just blown up.
Yeah, totally.
Fine.
He hadn't slept for days, apparently.
Slept for days.
Why did we all have to do shifts? Why did nobody?
That's why they started the shifts, because his head exploded.
Oh.
I don't remember any of this.
I think that timeline doesn't
Yeah,
add
that
up,
doesn't
but
work.
okay.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
Right at the start, he already hadn't slept for days. When did he put the jizz on us? I can't remember.
we started on shifts long
I need
before
to
we
establish that's not what he did. Okay. As someone who
Very
No,
disappointing.
he explained.
It's what was in it was jizz, for
Yeah.
sure.
In the little bottle.
Yeah.
Well,
Lucas
I
says,
can't help it if my memory
do
is
you
going.
really need to shout?
who's shouting.
Minimize.
Oh.
Shouting.
Yes.
I'm not shouting. I'm just speaking loudly so they can hear upstairs.
Who? Do you
Me.
want to hear?
Elric.
Right. Perhaps you should come
hang your
down.
face through the window.
No, I'm happy enough up here.
No, just leave him there.
Right.
We don't want the coach to be even warmer because his.
That's fair.
So, is it usually this warm this time of year around this place?
It's summer. What's wrong with you?
It's the north. What's wrong with you?
Oh my goodness. You're acting like a child, sir.
What?
You're acting like a child. I thought you were meant to be representing the Jaegers.
I am.
Then perhaps you should.
It's internal. It's an internal matter.
Right. What has happened since I've been gone?
It's been very stressful.
Castle blew up.
He says,
It's the long and short of it.
yeah.
Demons.
Birdie died, but then
Cultists.
No, I don't want to hear the details. For goodness sake, even saying that's blasphemy. What have you been doing when I've been away? He says as he shakes slightly and then rubs at his neck. I mean, I know what happened. I was on the receiving end of some of it. I meant more attitude. I meant more the way you're comporting yourself. You're acting like children. Like children. Actual children. What's happened?
Why is everyone looking at me?
I am not. I'm looking at people who look rather resplendent, actually, but are acting almost the opposite.
We're just a bit stressed, is all, Lucas.
Well, yes.
I think you as well. If
Well,
fair
I
to
am.
say.
I'll admit, I am. Actually, that being the case, I brought something in my luggage. We'll
Right.
talk about it later.
Oh.
To hopefully provide some stress relief. And not in that sort of childish way, with that green wizard and what he was doing, that sort of thing. The less said about that, probably the better.
It saved people's lives, and he was just given his life to do it. So
Exactly.
maybe be a bit respectful.
That's exactly what I was being, you idiot. Oh my God. And he starts banging on the top of the coach. Stop it, stop it, stop the coach, he says.
Do not stop the coach.
Stop the coach as he pukes. All over Birdie on the other side.
Lucas sucks now. You notice that?
I haven't missed the
Blah.
scolding.
You alright?
He says, stop the coach. Stop the coach.
Yeah.
Having heard the vomit, yeah, you can stop the coach.
As he comes stumbling out and then vomits all over the side of the... You haven't even left the palace grounds. All over the side of the grounds. Leopold hears, I'm watching.
No. Get any sense of direction?
No, none at all.
But
Yes.
Sumo
is his
will
vomit
step out,
alive?
to give Lucas a handkerchief and some water.
Geralt, bring some cloths.
It's half an hour of cleaning.
Yeah. Play cast, not a fun time.
Lucas does, however, have one question. Perhaps I should stay behind.
Just
I'm not sure I'm ready.
yeah, okay, so I can do that. Let's look. Have we got? I
I
know.
closed my eyes and I saw it.
What did you see?
It. I mean, she said the word and it was there.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
You should definitely not.
You should definitely
with
stay with
right.
us.
No,
No,
I
no,
don't think so.
No.
It's
Right. Look, stop.
like I'm going
This
to make sure
is-
that we're close enough that I don't have to raise my voice to say this. It's watching.
Oh,
If he stays with us, it can't find him.
okay, good stuff.
He comes with us.
Yeah.
Can you pray for him? I'm sorry, Lucas, that we behaved badly.
But how is it watching if we're with her?
It doesn't matter.
Because it knows where we are right now. But unless it
And it
travels
has
with us, it
eyes.
won't know where we are. But it will be able to
Are
find
you
him.
sure they're not watching through him?
I'm not sure of anything.
But
We've got a few new faces. Can you do your sort of that person's okay, that person's not okay check thing that you do?
Takes a while. I will over the next
Yeah,
few hours.
just as we travel, just to make sure.
At least, Gerhard, you can check over Lucas medically and you can give him spiritual comfort.
No, we're just gonna. Lucas, do you want to just have a quick 10-minute walk just around the yeah? Do you want me to come? We can run through it. Okay, all right. Let's just do 10 minutes. Just gonna lap around the coach, all right? Just so we shouldn't be too far away. So-
Lucas says, "What's happened, sir?
What do you mean?
I mean, everything's changed. Everyone's acting differently."
Oh, so we've all sort of gone through quite a lot, and are dealing with a few changes. Leopold is now higher up in the temple. He is now a high priest, I believe. So maybe that's sort of a new way of him looking at things. I actually think he's probably.
I meant more the bigger,
Oh,
in front of others as well. I thought you decided that that's the sort of thing that happened behind closed doors and the like. There are other people here, are there not? Or do I just not understand?
No. It's just. I think it's we're all currently reacclimatizing again because we've gone through some things, and it might just be that people are a bit frazzled. I'm a bit worried about Anna. She's a little bit more edgier than usual. Elric's obviously Elric has actually performed admirably. I will tell you more about that at some point in the future. I think for now.
Are you sure? He seems very upset.
No, he's fine. He's just as usual. You know, he sometimes has
He
spikes.
just seems to be insulting everyone. Has something happened?
No.
Do I need to know?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, positive. He's fine, honestly.
He sounds cruel now.
Cruel?
Has he seen things?
He's not acting cruel, right? This is me asking the question here.
It's up to you to decide what you think.
No, I don't.
More
think
than
he is.
usual.
No more than nothing. No, it's all right.
Gassed it.
How? Wait, hang on a second. Just as a check, how do you think I've been behaving?
Childish.
That's not really helpful.
Dead to rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Not massive.
Not huge.
Well, look, I understand you're a young man, and sometimes I forget that. But you're a young man of breeding and training. I just expected. I actually, given our elevated circumstances, I actually expected more.
Sometimes people revert to their own things. It doesn't matter. Can I just give you one favour? Do you mind?
Oh yes, of course.
Right.
He says.
Pulse, eyes, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, quite. He's obviously very agitated.
Yeah. But it is a physical thing that's happening to it, right?
Appears to be, yes.
Yeah, which doesn't necessarily help because
Oh, why would he be so long? He
um,
would die. Lies down on the floor.
You're an elf. You're gonna live forever.
It's not
I
true.
would also imagine if anybody was invested in cleaning up the vomit inside the
don't
the
lie
carriage
in the
vomit.
And he just
No, she's just
laying
lying
on the vomit.
She's just lying on it.
Less
Ah.
melting, more
But just
cleaning.
you're not going to get used to that smell. Is all I'm
I
saying.
think that's quite unlikely
Yeah.
given your senses.
on the ground.
It looks like she's lying, but she's
So,
actually
lying on the ground
hovering
outside,
slowly.
quite in the sun, waiting for the ick to be cleaned. As on the inside, it is indeed cleaned.
Cool.
It's a coachman. Bloody hell. Oil coach and all.
Sorry about that. He's not been well.
Yeah, he's just recovered from something quite big. It's amazing he's even walking here.
Right. It says right. Well, out with the brush.
Sawdust.
in my medical paraphernalia, do I have things to chill people out a little bit?
Oh yes.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
not like a nothing too heavy, just a
It's gotta be weird.
It is.
I think
For
it's
God's
really
sakes, I don't want to do
unreasonable that he gets
One of
weird.
your drugs.
Sure.
I think it's really. I'm just going to voice it, but I think it's really unreasonable that he gets weirdred.
I'm not here. Not dealing with that.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can smell it from some 30
I
yards
can
away.
smell it, and
As,
I don't get
He
the
takes a stick and
drugs
starts to chew
that
it.
Greta left
Thank you,
for
sir.
me.
That's noted. Noted.
So just it might
This is
be
very unfair. Never mind.
just have rid of that.
What?
It'll help chill you out. We might be. You might be right. Just keep an eye on it for me. Because maybe we just haven't had a third party who's been.
It's just
A
I
step
don't like
away.
change,
I know.
and you can understand why.
Yes, very much so. All right. Is this? I do think you should come with us because, well, Leopold's right.
Well, better with you than not, I suppose.
Exactly. And also you're, technically allowed to live again, which is nice. Did you get the
Yes.
wine I sent you?
Yeah, I did. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
good.
It's actually in my satchel.
Oh, right. Well, let's get that out then. On the
No,
way.
I don't
No?
think I could drink right
No.
now.
Oh,
No,
all right.
most certainly. Let's say under the weather.
Fine.
I'm sure I'll be fine. Looks back at the coach. Maybe wait for them to finish with the sawdust. Though.
Yeah, let's do that. And just you can have a snooze if you want on the journey. I'll make sure actually that you have space for your feet. You can put your feet up.
No, to be silly. One would not put one's foot up on the leather. No, absolutely not.
So put down some blankets so that you can put your foot up or feet up.
And perhaps that would be better.
That's
Yes.
better. Yes. Okay.
Apologies.
I am unwell, go hard.
Says Alamin away from beside the coach.
Right.
I have to make an apology.
No, you're okay.
He comes forward. I apologise. I appear to have been most unwell. I'm very sorry. Very healthy.
Don't give it another thought.
Right.
Please get in. We're nearly done here.
As your squire is cleaning out bits of sick. He's arguably done less work
And meat pie!
meat pie. Who's been licking away like
Happy as
mad.
And it's now turned him into a weapon.
He is super happy.
I think that I need medical attention, but I can suffer it as we go on.
Do you want me to look you over?
Yes,
Do you really want me to?
yes. I feel unwell. I feel hot and shaky, and just out of sorts.
A little bit withdrawn, are we?
I think we all know why. I think it's having a physical effect.
Okay.
Elves have died of this, you know.
Right. Do you want me to look you over? Do you want me to do the
Do
doctor
yourself.
thing?
Yes.
All right.
You don't get to add any advances, sadly. It's just your neat skill, because it's an elf, not human.
Well,
And remember to take notes for your paper.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I can look you over, yes,
Yes.
but I am the doctor in this situation, so you don't tell me what to do in that environment.
Right.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. When this is
Successes
happening,
are.
I am a doctor, you are a patient.
I'm a patient.
Good.
I've got it.
I mean, they're not great. Oh, that's
It's
Lucas.
just your skill.
I know.
Just your skill.
Just skill.
Just my
So
skill.
it's whatever you rolled.
It's wherever you roll.
Oh.
It's
Two
just anything else
successes.
up. It's just, it'll be
Yeah,
right
I'm
in front of you.
sorry. Yeah, thanks.
There we go.
Cheers.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Yeah, it has.
Two.
She is, you think, she's got heart palpitations,
Mhm.
and is running chill.
And they usually run a bit warm, don't
They
they?
run hotter, and she feels to your touch cool.
I-
She actually feels ill.
I think
You
that
think.
I am so sorry, Lucas. I think I am making you unwell. You see, when an elf is ill, it leaks out etherically.
Okay.
You're not sure that's true.
No, I don't.
Loophole had eyes, he'd roll them.
But we do hear a loud tut.
All right, well, look, I'll keep an eye on it. Just if it gets any worse.
It will get worse. I know what the remedy is. Greta told Sume what the remedy was.
All right, well, I'll speak to you, man. We can move it on from there.
Good.
Okay?
You can hear her. She's being not entirely quiet.
No, really? Oh.
Do you want to? Well, look, let's
Look,
get in the carriage
Greta
and carry
knew
on.
about these things, and Greta said that I couldn't just stop. It had to be a slow thing.
Do you know what Greta is?
What?
Do you know what Greta
what
is?
Greta is.
Yes. Not a doctor. I am a doctor. I have a paper and everything. So here we go. And we'll keep an eye on that, okay?
Sume will take the horror aside before he goes on, and she's like, "You know what the remedy is. Do you think Lucas and you want to be in the coach when that happens again?"
I actually don't know what to talk about now.
Okay. Out of character. Do you remember the last time we gave Omen away petal?
Genuinely no.
He's an
Did it happen
absent-minded
more
genius.
than 10 minutes ago?
I mean, I'm sure I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Side stream? Is it a
I
side
don't
stream?
think they didn't. I don't think we got it.
Okay. Well, in
I
that
think
case,
it'll be.
Don't-
I
Bernhard
think it'll
did
be
not know.
fine.
maybe you should observe it at least once then, I guess. But you've been warned. I don't know. Maybe,
Are you bringing out a petal?
we'll wait until we get out of the city at least.
I mean, although that being said, you might want to like take it out when she's not able to see where your stash is.
Yeah. Don't worry. I've stashed them in different places and stuff. I'm prepared.
Nice.
Sounds good. Eventually, the coach gets moving again. Lucas is a bit shaky. Alamenowite is also a bit shaky. The coachman is more shaking his head. As clop, 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 out of the palace you go, down the main thoroughfare over towards one of the great causeways. This causeway goes over to the Middle Mountains. You could be wending your way down the Middle Mountains from there and then heading off up northwards. Indeed, you've all been given a really crappy map that I made in about half an hour earlier on this afternoon. Not only did I make this map, you might be able to see it out there as well if Erin fishes it out, because ping, 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 I popped it up so that Erin can share it also. So you can get at least an idea of where you're going on
That's
your first
exciting.
date.
I love your idea of a crap map.
Yeah. It'd take me like 6 hours.
It really was not a good map. I mean, I am, after all, a cartographer. You'd think
So
I'd do
we're going
better, but
up
I did not.
here and then over.
And you're
That's
making your
good.
way northwards towards Sock, and then moving along the border.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite. Moving along the border between Nordland and Middenheim, pardon me, over towards and up the winding mountain passes towards Brass Keep. If you wish to pass on a petal at any point, you are more than welcome to do so.
I'll tell Omen to come sit between. I'll be in the middle and she can be on the side. And then once we're out of the city, I'll give her one. But before I do,
Now, you have two choices.
yes.
You have a petal or a leaf.
I
The petals are very soft and somehow are not in any way degraded. The leaves are far more leathery, almost, well, they're really quite, not just leathery, slightly spiky on the edges as well. A hardier style of leaf. You're not sure which to do. Greta was not exactly fulsome in her explanations.
I've been told petals, so
Yeah.
I will do a petal.
Sounds
I
good.
think.
Soft white petal.
Although I have been curious because, like, does it smell like anything?
Not of anything that you can discern.
Interesting. Anyway, she well, yeah.
Her eyes are wide.
But like, stay in the coach, okay?
It's a most curious response. Her
Right.
eyes are normally a silvery grey with flecks of silver run through them, as in the middle, almost like a black pupil forms in
Oh.
both, as large pupil goes until her eyes are almost entirely black.
And then before she does, Lucas, you might wanna not listen and look away.
Who says, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
No,
Just
I don't really understand it.
put
either.
your hands over
Just-
your ears.
Earmuffs.
Hands of my ears.
Yes.
Just
Okay. And then she'll
why? How much? What's one leaf?
just it's one petal at a time.
One petal.
And where are you placing said petal?
On her, I think last time it was on her.
Shows out. Her eyes black.
I'm sure.
So
Okay.
I mean, that's not terrifying at
So
all.
glad I'm on top.
Yeah.
Okay. You're sure. So yes, you'll place it.
It touches her tongue and is absorbed by it. As the petal doesn't frizzle away, it almost sinks into her tongue. And immediately her eyes return to the way they were as she falls back into her chair. Her muscles loosen.
Oh.
As a slow smile spreads across her face.
It's much more subtle this time. Good job.
Cool test.
96.
Does she have Barracool?
90. I'll spend a fortune point.
That's a shame.
That's a good point. Presumably it's stored on the roof, I guess.
No, I carry it everywhere I go.
Be on the
But
floor.
if your
I mean,
hammer
it's-
wouldn't
if my
fit,
hammer
Barracool
wouldn't
is
fit,
even
surely
It's on
bigger.
the
Barracool.
floor.
Yeah.
2 successes.
That's an angle. Bonk.
2
Could have done the
successes.
same, suppose, yeah. 2 successes is better than none. The occasional small whimper comes from out in the corner. Whimper. Ecstatic whimper.
Sure.
Uh,
Quasi moan.
Quasi moan. That'll do
yeah.
perfectly.
Quasi-mono.
Yeah, quite.
It's a long day. You stop off halfway through the day at a coaching inn. The coach only waits for about half an hour as you eat. They were clearly prepared for your arrival. The fare is standard. Stew if you wish it.
Yes.
And you're gone within very little time. Slowly but surely, the coach wends its way through foothills and into more mountains as it heads towards Sock, which it arrives at 6 o'clock, approximately that evening. We're still in late summer. The sun is still relatively high in the sky at this point, although it's dipping behind some of the mountains. Sock itself is a large town. We don't know exactly how many souls, but it's large enough that it's got stone walls that are patrolled by guards. 2 temples of Sigmar can be seen from the inside. But they are much smaller than the far more dominant at the opposite side to where you are, Temple of Ulrich, which rises like a fort out from the side. Indeed, there is no other fort here. It is the central bastion of this particular settlement. And 2 great wolves are carved into the side of it, each of which is howling. You get to spend the night in an inn. The Trusty Girl, apparently. It's got an image of a girl with her leg broken.
Oh.
Sitting above Trusty Girl underneath it. Presumably there's some sort of local tale. And unless you're doing anything, it will be an uneventful, probably Dice of Doom evening. So
Well,
I
I want to
only
know the
require-
story.
2 dice though for the Dice of Doom, so you can choose.
I might do an augury when we get there.
Sounds good.
I'll maybe do a divination first of all.
I would
then I'll
like
do
to
one
know
there.
the story of the.
Do yourself a gossip test.
Divination is all good. And then the augury.
What's
Augury is
my
also
disease?
good. Good, bad, neutral. For the place we're staying.
Good.
Do we have advantage?
Overall.
Pardon, you do not.
Okay, in which
I mean,
case
it's
one thing.
probably not a
Good.
best of
That just means you don't learn the story. That sounds good to me.
I would like to do before stream we sort of said that I may have borrowed some books.
Mhm.
One would have been around local heraldry, looking for certain fish with swords,
Mhm.
and houses that would contain thereof those within.
I would like one single research test from you for what we learned from the day.
Okie dokie. And I want to give another one to Lucas, which is just something to occupy his mind,
Lucas
basically.
will not be able to read. He's
What?
the motion sickness is too much for him.
Oh, okay.
Can I borrow that book when you're done with it?
The heraldry one?
Yes, please.
Yes, you. Nope, sorry. Don't be rude.
No, you can ask.
I think
Research.
we're going to ask whether you can read.
While he's rolling that, Dice of Doom from 2 people, please. Well, this goes from the end
Yep.
on either
Yes.
side. Element away now. What do we roll?
3.
4.
Oh, we're fine. Nothing untoward. Everything's cool. We're all good.
9 successes.
9 successes.
Yes.
Nice. It's an advanced skill.
Correct.
So how many advances do you have in research?
It's book based.
It is, but
Yep. So
yeah.
2 from bookish.
Bookish, nice. 2.
Speed reading, does that count for
It
this?
does. Yeah, I'll let that one go too, actually.
4 overall then.
Oh, nice.
Well, lawyered Ed.
Yeah.
Rules.
You know the rules.
I'm doing it,
100
Peter.
sessions down. Bam! Out come the rules. So, 2 houses in particular, as you're making your way through this, stand out. First is Let me just pull it out to make sure I get the correct house, because I'm pretty sure it's Middenbrach.
Are
Just
they-
double check.
Are they both alike in dignity?
They are not quite like the dignity in Fair Verona where we set our scene. It's Middenbrach, the House of Middenbrach, Nordland. And interestingly, the house that you are very, very close to, just across the border from Sock, over there is Middenbrach. Middenbrach. And it has a coiled fish around a central tower, and it is indeed a swordfish.
Okay.
Okay, so
Middenbrach.
that's one of interest. The second one is the House of Solsheim, which is a Middenheim house, a minor Middenheim house, which has, interestingly, a fish bearing a sword. Because heraldry is great that way.
Don't trust that.
So you can decide yourself whether you think that counts or whether it does not count.
The Middenbrach was a actual swordfish.
It was an
going
actual
around
swordfish
the
going
tower.
around the tower.
Right. Yes, that one.
What?
The other one, no.
Sounds good?
Has everyone just kind of been chilling, like all the entourage, like your novitiate? No one's doing anything special. Scratch and sniff, whatever his name is.
Calixt.
Calixt.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
everyone's just.
Yeah.
I can't remember his actual name.
I think Gerald and I will be spending a little bit more time getting all the bits that we didn't get previously out my arm.
Nice.
Practicing
I'm
steps.
I'm practicing with steps. Yeah.
And I will play flute in the common room to entertain the
Do yourself a
people.
roll. That'll be your test. Anyone else got anything they'd like to pray? Oh, you're doing your
do the
auguries,
auguries,
indeed. Do you want to do your auguries for the folks as well?
Yeah.
Get
Well, I
an
mean, I can
opportunity
only
to-
do 3 a session, is it, or a day?
Probably a session.
Three,
So choose your 3.
three successes.
Well,
I mean, he'll do them all.
Well, I've already done one for the place we're
Yeah,
staying.
indeed.
So I've
So
only got 2 left.
if you want to do a specific role for anyone, do so. Other than that, you can see you've done your augury, but got nothing from it. So you've done them, but you've just not got actual results.
3 successes.
Thanks.
Total.
Good.
Who the most?
We entertain the masses.
Yeah, he was the most random one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who?
The one that's come without
Scratch and sniff.
Scratch and sniff.
But
Since
it's
I
not
couldn't
random
get any
at all.
gossip, can I sit and try and write some poetry?
No, it's still a pass. I'm good. Yeah, it's a pass on scratch and sniff.
Calixt.
Calixt
What's his
is-
surname? What's his family name?
Safinsky.
Yeah,
Um,
Scratch and Sniff.
Calixt is good.
Good to know.
And over with
Gerald
you. Yeah,
Bucket.
of course. You can sit there and attempt to write away as you're listening to
With
the two
my
players.
I will.
1 point
Say
in
no,
it.
that's just in case
One
for
whole point.
emergencies
Right.
today.
The next day. The next day is a winding route through the Middle Mountains. The edge of the Middle Mountains to its northwestern side. And the first half of it is nothing more than glorious surroundings and mountain shots. The second half of it, though, is occasionally quite scary as we go along some mountain passes. And then they broaden out as you move into a valley, and then you move up into another mountain run. This is a place where the good coachman, I've been here up a few times, he says, indeed, I suppose I shouldn't call him that, should I? I took the Royal Bastard. He says, they were up here not that long ago. He says, yeah, it's where he was stationed. I took him down from there. The road gets pretty airy. You're lucky you're blind. He says, you'll probably feel it in your face, though, when it gets windy. He says, we're down in valleys just now, but when we go up, you'll know. You'll know. He says, oh, you're not going to be much... And then he calls back, anyone up back? If you see anything flying, make sure you tell us. He says, there's places to stop a long way, just in case there's anything big, griffin or something.
I've got sharp ears and all.
He says, all right, well, if you hear anything untoward, you make sure you tell me. He says, there's only 5 stops between here and the next place where we can hide down. He says,
Would it be helpful if I come up top now to watch out for flying things?
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm coming
Yes. Come up.
out. Yeah. I'm coming up, everyone.
I'm sure it will be fine. So first, a dice of doom. And we've moved in danger. 5 dice. So one of you won't be rolling. So one
I'm
of
not
you...
rolling.
That
no,
sounds good.
No, the person with no fortune points left shouldn't roll.
Oh,
That's her own fault.
Deal. That seems reasonable.
Right.
Yeah.
And sensible.
you're so wise in the ways of
Nine.
dice.
9.
1.
2 ones.
5.
I can make
What did
mine
you-
go to 2.
Shall I bump mine?
How many do you have?
14 points.
Yeah.
I've got 2 plus a donation.
I've got 2.
So I'll do
Yeah,
it.
sounds good.
So bump mine up to
10.
10,
10.
stick out of 9.
So that's 1, 2,
Okay.
5.
5, 9, and 10.
The driver, coachman, points out this bit here. Says, "You best be ears pricked, I suppose." He says, "Things live up there, big birds, really big birds." He says, "They're not eagles." He says, "But they did take off with the driver about 2 years back." He says, "One of them had a goblin on it once." He says, "Crashed though." They were coming for us, and then crashed right into side of cliff. He says, "You just have to, whip like a bugger. Get the fuck out of there, He says,
We once saw goblins that were like flinging themselves from catapults.
"Bloomin' hell. They're mad bastards, didn't they?" He says, "Well, let's hope we don't get anything like that."
I hear a whistling sound.
Well, just give me your hammer.
Batter up.
Far away. A campfire is tamped down. "I don't know if I like this one bit. You didn't tell me we were going to the Hellschnick crypts," says the voice. As to the side, he listens. "Well, if you tell me that's the case, then that is the case. But if I die again, I'm blaming you." As he gets up, and a howl spins around him as purple spiritual faces rise up, flecked with green flame. Up you go. Yes. Go. "Fuck!" he says. "There's something down there. You didn't tell me." And in the background, a child says, "Well done." As he spins round, "Who said that?" His hand lifts up. Elsewhere, you're making your way through the Middle
I
Mountains.
spy something beginning with.
Little bastard.
Our second day, we are to drop off at the end of the day in a big tower. And indeed, it is exactly that, a fortified mansion with an enormous tower rising out the side of it. It's halfway up the side of a cliff. The bottom parts of it entirely exposed to the elements, the walls to either side. Several large eagles, each of which are about 12 foot at the shoulder, stand guard out over the expanse. One of which has got a rider with a long lance sitting out. A big long plume sits out as the bird looks in your direction and lifts off, giving you the freaky willies. The nasty evil birds are coming.
Yeah, you're big birds.
Big birds! Flap, flap, flap.
Big birds.
As, he goes, "No, it's all right," he says.
Oh, there are good big birds as well, aren't there?
He says, "I forgot to tell you about those."
Yeah, the information would have
He
been
says,
helpful.
they trained the eagles here about 1,000 years back.
Well,
He says, elves or something trained them a long time ago. They got deal with them or something. Don't understand. Local lord knows all about it. Well, let's hope he's not here. Because if he is, we might not get a good greeting.
why is that?
Well, they think they should be ruling Midnam.
Oh,
Yes.
What?
When Henry passed through here, he gets on with them really well.
great.
He says,
So
But-
us burying the old royal seal might not be the best then.
"Oh, it's not so bad if we had Henry with us,
But we don't.
but we don't. I'm sure he won't be in though."
You've
Says-
got Hellstein. They're not friends of the Toddbringers. Maybe that would be too
He looks
bad.
back and he goes, I don't know much about politics. I just know Heinrich likes them. and he likes Heinrich. He says,
Who's the Lord? What's his name?
he says, Edgar. He says, it's what I know him as. He told me I had to call him Edgar. It's, no, I can remember. He clicks his fingers. No, I can't. He says, well, it's not that place. Edgar. He's a lanky fella. His wife, she's the Castellan. She's the fucking worst. Says, you know, the sort that'd slap you around the face just with a look. I feel a bit sorry for Edgar, actually.
I like this guy. Quite frank.
As he whips along.
What's your name?
He says, Gunter.
Gunter. Okay.
As the bird lifts off, spirals round, sits above. She keeps looking up. They're on our side. He says, as the lance is held out in front. And you can see it circling around, and then it dives down into the pass. Whips back up and lands back on its perch. Fine folk. Says, well, at least they're not attacking us. And well, you know, you've got letter of mark or whatever you call it. We'll be fine. I am going to randomise whether he's in. And I'm doing that for a reason.
Is it better or worse?
We'll find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's in the house. 10. He really isn't. Okay, interesting. The pennants and banners of his royal household, as he would like to perceive such things. It's not a royal household and has not been for a very long time. Of his household are down. There are no local rulers currently inside the town. As you're let through, you need to show your paperwork to be allowed in.
Right.
A guard comes up and says, let's have a look at what you've got then.
Yep, quite good, my man. There you are.
He says, as Lucas says, don't give it to him, just show it to him. They might steal
Then
it.
I am showing it to you there. That's it.
As he looks at it and goes, oh, you're going to need to see Captain. You're going to need to see Captain about that. That's right.
Quite right, chop. Let's go.
Sergeant! He says, where's the captain? As he goes off. It's about 20 minutes before the captain comes out. A particularly rotund fellow with a helmet on that seems to have been squeezed on top of his large cheeks. As he comes out, his moustache out. Well, let's have a look then. Oh, bloody hell. You're in Bath and Gruff, are you?
Yes, very much so. So,
Right, well, we'll
prepared and all that.
we'll put you up over in South Tilwer. He says, and puffs himself up. He says, Peter.
Right, good man. Peter, is it?
Peter.
Peter. Peter.
As, Lucas nudges you and whispers, don't be a dick.
Peter.
As his face
Peter.
falls,
Right, apologies.
he says, "Ugh." When he walks off, Lucas goes, you're doing it on purpose again. Just because they're northern and you can't understand them doesn't mean you can't. I thought that's basic syllables, sir. Basic syllables. You can copy a syllable, Peter. Even I can understand it in his bloody northern patois. He says,
that's way worse than what I did.
You can think
Right,
of it
it's
like pie eater.
Yeah, no, I understand what it is now.
Or how
It
about,
doesn't matter.
as the coach
Fine.
moves in, as he
how
goes,
about in future, instead of repeating it back if you're not sure, you just
Say
say,
yes.
it's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Fine.
What do you say, sir?
Or cat?
Captain.
I was trying to be whatever.
I know you were trying to be polite.
they're very touchy up north. He says, why do you like coming up here?
And touchy, yes.
Touchy, yes.
You've been scribbling away the whole journey. You okay?
I'm practicing poems. You wanna hear one?
Poems?
Yes.
Sure.
Bird riding goblins does not last for long up there. Lunches in the sky.
Oh, marvellous.
It's the
Yes.
thing that
It doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, it doesn't rhyme.
it doesn't have to. It's the structure that's important. It
Oh.
has to be a 5-7-5.
What?
What?
5
Syllables.
syllables.
Oh, right, syllables. Basic syllables, sir.
Hmm.
He says, Paita. Right. I see. A Paita. I get it now. He said, I didn't understand to begin with, but now Paita, of course.
Banter is
You
his
seem to be
name.
somewhat back to normal. That's good. That's
He
nice.
says, well,
That could be the last
it's
bit.
been a day, and we're far away from the awfulness.
Right. Good. Excellent.
We're far away from the awfulness.
That's very interesting. The poetry piece. Can anybody join in?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
He
There,
wears an ill-fitting cap.
yeah.
He thinks Gerhardt
Sucks.
That'll do.
Usually we try to open with a flower or a thing that kind of states what kind of season it is, because it's usually about nature, and then you say something deep or meaningful about life, and then you wrap it up. And there's some phrases that but they don't really translate.
So like the petal fell fast. My eyes saw into your soul. Now I am happy.
I get it.
Pain.
Did I do it right?
Yes.
Thank you.
You are put up in royal apartments, which is nice. The royal apartments, however, have only one royal bed. There are, however, enough servant quarters for some 15 people. You can take the royal bed if you wish to
Thank
do so.
you. Yep. All right.
Indeed. Lucas is quite happy.
Royalty.
Yes, but we are the Jungfreud Jaegers, remember? Fine. We are in disguise now.
Quite. There is a chance that there will be an unfortunate event in the night. 3 dice. Do, please.
Oh.
I'll do it.
And
4.
6.
2.
2,
The
2,
night
4, 6, 8.
passes uneventfully. Elsewhere, a voice emanates from a sarcophagus.
Oh, never a good sign.
You will not disturb me, says the voice. In return, I have no desire to do so, he says, as another voice says, we have needed you. Ah! And he bellows spells. And I don't know who's going to win.
Who do we want to win? Who should we be rooting for?
I mean, they all sound
Yes.
awful.
Yeah,
Can
they
they-
do all sound
Can they
bad.
all explode?
Yeah, that would be the best. A catastrophic 88 that kills them all.
I don't know.
I'm backing sarcophagus guy because he was asleep until they came and bothered him.
An enormous flow of dar mixed with gyron and shyish lashes outwards at the demon and eviscerates it.
Is it strong enough for us to sense it from here?
No.
Oh.
This sort of stuff happens in the woods all the time.
Yeah.
No one sends this sort of thing. You've tricked me. He falls silent. I have done no such thing, says the voice. Not you. Just go to sleep. I have no interest in you. And something shifts as the sarcophagus moves. Oh, shit. As he backs off. You wake up refreshed the next day. All is fine in the world, except it's ever so slightly raining. The sun, however, is also high, just moving across the side of the mountains when you make your way out of the place at some 11 o'clock in the morning.
Is there a rainbow?
There is not a rainbow from this angle.
I have another question.
Question on?
Does a couple of days of nothing happening, just traveling, help with you may stress?
I know.
Oh.
What about everybody
She's
else?
so
is
stressed out.
Well,
Yeah,
Right, the poetry not like a form of.
Stress
Shall-
relief. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll
I
let you
did
do
a,
a poetry test.
I did a pretty good poem for her.
Spit bars.
I have 1 point.
Yeah, you know,
One
you
point
might
in
pass.
poetry.
See how it goes.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, good
Yeah,
answer.
I guess
Oh,
so.
you lose 1 point of stress.
Yeah.
As she sits there with the wind plucking at her hair, looking out over the great valley that lies before, with the eagle sitting perched off to one side with its rider gazing down across said pass.
Does Calix know what house this is? Edgar.
Aye. Karsberger
Karsberger.
says they are the fucking worst.
Oh, really?
Oh, we've been warring with them for centuries. Says they're expansionists. They're Midlanders. Aye. Says not like us Ostlanders, nice and calm, cool, you know. Fuck 'em all. Says I didn't say that in case anyone asks. But fuck 'em all. That Edgar guy, I met him once.
Did you?
Spat at me.
What?
He's a cunt.
Right.
Says that's it.
Where would he be?
He's not here.
Yeah.
Who knows? This is his lands. He could be anywhere.
For all we know, he might have died. He might have been in the capital.
He ran off to that. Would be a blessing.
Or we do know if people were trying to overthrow Middenheim.
I'm not looking forward to rescue mine though.
I don't think any of us are, to
We're
be
getting
fair.
there tonight, right?
I mean,
Up on top of the room. Like Loophole intervention. We're looking forward to it.
Math nerds.
I don't really
Weirdos.
know much about Breastkeep other than what we've been told. Is there stuff we should all know?
Over breakfast. Next goes, aye, all right. Suppose we're going to make it, aren't we? Suppose I better tell you. It's old. It's older than Sigma. We don't know who built it. We don't know where it came from. Some say it's to do with the restless dead. But in the last Great War, it was the striking point into Midland. It was taken by those from the north. And apparently it's not the first time it had been taken as well. And at the end of the war, when the Emperor was crowned, it was one of his first 5 tasks that he set. Things that had to be reclaimed. And it's the only one that failed.
Quick clarification.
Yes.
Great War is chaos.
Great War against chaos.
and
Yep.
the Emperor's Magnus.
The Magnus.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, 200 years back, and ended up being formed into a big line. A picket. That's how it got called at the time. When Magnus died, they tried to take it again and they failed. So they just besieged the place and everyone died.
I understand, Calix, that there is a treaty between Hochland, Ostland, Middenland, that the land that Brasskeep is on belongs to no one,
Aye.
and none of the pickets will enter Brasskeep because to do so will be considered a declaration of war
Aye.
on the others.
Although you can if you have permission from all parties.
Yes.
So there's 3 parties in particular. You've got Hochland, which, that's Talabheim now. It was Hochland back then, but it's Talabheim now. You've got Middenheim, although it was Middenland then. Then you've got Ostland. My dad is responsible for the Ostland part. I mean, he won't be there, but he's the one who's responsible. He's given the duty to look after it. I mean, there's nothing there now. It's empty. I mean, it's been scoured. It was scoured about 100 years ago. It's just this big, rotten place that no one wants. But no one wants in a bad way.
I also have been led to believe that many people have tried to destroy it physically with
Aye.
magic, gunpowder,
Aye.
and it resists and sometimes returns to its former
Aye.
state.
Whatever made it, whatever it was, doesn't want it unmade. It's a bad place.
So if we were to seek aid from the Middenheim forces, we automatically have Middenheim's permission.
Aye.
we would need to get Ostland
Aye.
and Talabheim.
Aye, or you'll be declaring war on both
Yes.
of them in the name of Middenheim.
I thought you,
Which would be fucking hilarious, by the way.
I thought you mentioned there were 4.
I think I got that wrong.
There's 3.
There's
Oh,
3.
okay.
I thought Nordland was 1, but
No.
So,
I was wrong.
Nordland's Middenheim.
Yes.
would it be fair to assume, if I'm overstepping a boundary, I don't necessarily know,
Aye.
that you would be good for an introduction to your father?
Oh, aye, if he's there. Not just good. I mean, he will not want anyone to be going anywhere near that place. But, if you're carrying the writ or the graph, he'll respect that.
Can I ask, out of character, are
Yes.
we allowed to? We're not going to talk about peak leveler, but can we talk about that we're going after a holy relic, like the Torlich Helm relic?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So we can't say why
But
we're
he
not
knows we
going.
want in.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or can we say that we're following
We're
cultists?
pursuing a
Yeah.
fugitive.
Yeah, that's
We're
more than
pursuing
fine.
a fugitive who
We
made
believe to be a cultist.
a traitor.
And
Yeah.
Katarina has told him that you're pursuing fugitives, exactly that.
exactly.
And he thinks that it would only be bad sorts that would possibly ever go to someone like Brasky.
Mhm.
So he's like fully behind us.
And then a politics question for you.
Yes.
An assassination attempt on the graph,
Yes.
would that be put out as something that people want to know about in terms of like, I survived it, somebody tried to kill me, or would it be better that nobody?
Are you using? Do you have?
I'll use Lucas's politics.
More
schema.
politics or using schema?
His schema.
Okay,
He's got
okay.
2.
So that being the case, then I'll give you the following. The graph is in a tenuous position just now.
Mhm.
He has received an enormous attack, but that, in many respects, makes the idea of an assassination not just palatable but likely. After all, his palace was blown up.
Yep.
Clearly, people are out for him, and the fact that he survived means that he's at a very, let's say, a stronger place than if he hadn't.
Yeah.
So using that as an excuse is certainly cool.
Okay. Fine.
Absolutely fine, and in no way would make him look weaker in most people's eyes. In fact, the fact that the graph still stands against all adversity could, in some people's eyes, make him look stronger. Your awareness, or pardon me, Lucas's awareness of the North is, well, you must understand that in Nordland, in particular, they value strength and they value self reliance, much like most of the Alricans. Most of the Northern Ostlanders are the same.
Okay.
Says. So I imagine that would go down quite well.
Excellent. Thank you, Lucas. Excellent resource as always.
So, the next day.
Is there
So before we go into the next day, so we've got Middenheim. Ostland shouldn't be a problem because his son is a footman to the Baron,
Mhm.
and it would be a really bad idea to say no. Plus, they value strength, and he's sending someone after assassination. So the problem is not the Northerners; it's Talabheim.
Talabheim.
We don't know
Southerners.
anything about Talabheim and
Well,
what
Talabheim
would
Lander
convince
would be.
them.
Oh, Talabheim. Yeah,
He's
quite.
not from Talabheim.
Yeah, totally.
Well,
He's
it's-
from the forest.
if we do point 1 and 2 first and see what happens for point 3?
But I mean, also, does your man know who's in command of the Taliban garrison or any of the personalities involved?
This isn't where I know. Look, I spent most of my younger years. I was assigned to the army at 10, and I've been warring for the last decade. He says almost 9 years anyway, down through the Middle Mountains. He says I acted as a general for my pa, but it was in the Middle Mountains. We're going against Beastmen, the Orc, and the like. He says wrestling them is something, I'm telling you. He says
Wrestling an orc.
aye. He says they're strong.
They are.
We know.
What, you have physically wrestled an orc yourself?
Aye.
What?
Aye.
I'm pleased you're here.
He
I'm
says,
regretting
I don't
not having that
recommend
lunch.
it was going to kill me. Like it was right in my.
No,
it was in my face, and it was. As a single anecdote, the thing I remember is when it was on me, it was snapping away, its jaws clamping. My first thought was, it's a dog. And I tried to break its legs by pushing up to either side, because if you do that to a dog, it dies. And I tried to do that to an orc, and obviously that's not going to do anything. And the thing almost headbutted me right in the face, and I just rolled at the side. I went stupid. Because you just go to pure instinct, and my instinct was not good that day, because it's not a dog. But no, I put a dagger right through its palate by mistake more than actual intention.
Right.
Either strong. They are strong.
I also
Terrifying.
that sounds great. I have a question about the titles and things? Like, are they all military people? What's the deal? I feel like I don't know how to
Address.
address
Who?
the people there.
He says, I'm a valet to the royal household.
The military, it's their rank. Just
Okay.
captain, sergeant.
I mean, I suppose I'm a lord, but I'm a valet now
Okay, as long as you don't mind.
to a baron. He says, I mean, I never expected to be a valet, but you know,
Sure, but this
Pays the
everyone.
bills.
I was here for the festival and the job came up and I thought I'll give it a go. I passed the
He
interview.
did pass the interview.
He says,
Right.
I've no idea why. He says, looking like a fucking god.
Okay.
I see.
But you had to have a callback, didn't you? You didn't get through
I
on the
turned it
first
down
interview.
first round.
Yes.
Well, it was never been turned down before. He says, I've won everything I've done.
Well, maybe it was part of the test. Did you consider that?
No. He says, oh. I'll admit I've got the freaky willies now. We're going up to Brass Keep. Fuck. I only ever went there once. I was I was a captain. I was 13. He says I was billeted there for 2 months and I had nightmares every single night. It was a punishment because I lost a minor skirmish. My pa didn't want me to fight, so I just went off and just grabbed some men and we went off into the mountains. He says my pa didn't like that. But I held off a whole war hard.
You say bad dreams.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Aye. Really bad. Really bad.
Gerhardt will take stock of any meds that will help with sleeping.
Although, Father Noble, you helped us with nightmares once when we were really like struggling. You like prayed, remember?
Rings a dim bell.
I mean, it was like 10 years ago, but like.
Genuinely struggling to remember. How can I help with nightmares?
Welcome to my world.
I feel like you prayed, and we were all.
I can I praise for you all every night. But,
You need to pray harder.
please let them be clever. Please let them be clever. I don't know that I've got anything.
So you know the picket. It's drawn 500 paces away, and it's roughly a circle.
Are there no like actual lines on the ground or anything?
And there's walls.
Oh, okay. So it's obvious.
It's obvious, yeah.
Aye. Oh, aye. You'll see when you get there. It's fortified. It looks like it's protecting from what's inside rather than the other way around, you know. The walls were built back in Magnus's time. When they failed to take the place, it was filled with who knows what horror was in there, aye. So they just built walls. And they tried to starve it out, but somehow it was still going when Magnus died. So they continued to starve it out until eventually it died.
What's wrong?
Well, hopefully we catch the fugitives before they get in, because they're on foot, right? That's the whole point. We're in a coach.
I like your optimism.
We could set a trap.
I do fear that they won't be going in through the walls. So they'll be either coming up from underneath, in which case they may already be there, or coming up from underneath, in which case we would want to be inside and set a trap for them. So we have the element of surprise against them.
Inside?
Well, otherwise,
We have to go in. Anyway.
we will have to go in.
I don't advise it.
We quite often have to do things that are ill-advised. We don't enjoy them, but we do them anyway.
Yeah.
Fold his arms, fair enough.
The graph has tasked us, so we don't really get a say.
Well, yeah, I wonder where the best place would be to set a trap.
Lucas pats on the shoulder and says, I shouldn't worry. I'm quite convinced that Jungfreud Jaegers have been through worse. As he goes, right, well, aye, sure.
I'm giving you options.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Don't worry.
I'm not jumping on that one yet.
That is enough, however, to significantly change the mood of your novitiate, who is much more like this now. As the last leg of the journey is taken up through the winding passes. The coachman has got a very matter-of-fact way of describing this part. Well, I've not died yet, He says, well, I've done this run about 50 times with Irish. He says, there was one time, though, where he jumped off when we were attacked by goblins. He went mental on them. He says, it's the only way to put it. He told me to keep on driving. He caught up with us 2 hours later. He says, hopefully your man at back, he can do that for us this time. If it should happen. He says, you'll be fine with that, won't you, big lad? Aye. He says, all right.
Lucas, when we arrive, I think I have a bit of a task for you, if you could.
Yes, what is it, sir?
I'm thinking sort of, you know, when you kind of go off a little bit with the with others and sort of the local people that are usually in the
What
area.
do you want me to do?
Could you try and make contact with the Talabekheimers? The Hocklanders, please.
Talabinders.
That's the one, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Talabekheimers.
I don't know what the lay of the land will be. I don't know if we'll be able to get to them or not.
Well, that's what I want you to find out.
Yeah, that
do
shouldn't
your
be
best
too
to
hard.
do that sort of thing.
I mean, I imagine the first thing to do would be to log in or speak to the local commander and then find out what the lay of the land is. Ask him.
Just that's what I would like you to sort of
Yes,
focus
They'll
on.
have a
Thank you.
messaging service between.
Sure. He is
Parties.
deal maker 3, so I'm looking for some deals, basically. Make a deal.
Of course. He says, won't be a problem.
Good.
Hello, coach.
Lucas.
Your dog says woof.
Of course he does. Has he detected anything, or is it just him being grumpy?
You don't know. He's trying to get up to the window and look out. But the coach is making its way out.
We will
of the town.
both.
It'll be fine. Lucas turns around and says, yes, what is it, my lady?
I just wanted to ask a favour.
Yes,
I
ma'am?
might. It's not for now, but for later. I'm wondering if we could have a little conversation about some lessons.
In what exactly?
Ability.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. No problem at all.
Thank you.
It shouldn't be too hard. Says, you've got poise. You've got
Thank
grace. Says,
You saw me getting into the carriage.
yes, I'm not saying that you deploy it all the time. I'm just saying that you
No.
have it. It's part of your repertoire.
Thank you, Lucas.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Says, once you get used to your yes, all of that. Says, can't imagine it's very comfortable.
Not at all.
I remember when I was
Chiefs.
younger, my father put me in half plate. Bits of plate here and there. He thought that I might have, the penchant for a little bit of the old, tap combat and the like. It didn't go well. No, it didn't go well. I mean, when I was younger, I was a bit of a man of action, particularly during my university days. But no. The armour and me, I don't think they go hand in hand at all. No. It's heavy stuff. Blasted heavy.
Tell me
Even when
about
it was put on well, it was blasted heavy.
It's tight too.
And I'm not sure it should be tight.
It's just the nature of.
Tight?
Mm.
No. When I was having armour put on me, it was, if anything, it was actually quite loose and comfortable.
It's supposed to be form fitting.
Oh, it's some sort of Night Panther thing, is it?
Apparently.
Oh, bad luck.
I know.
Oh, jolly bad show. Never mind. I suppose
What
that's
can one do?
your hammer to bear, I suppose. Right. That day, there is a significantly increased chance that something could go wrong.
Follow that.
All of you are dice of dooming, including me, which means we will
God,
need
that's
7
bad.
separate numbers to make this go by.
9.
3.
5.
3.
4. So we haven't done too bad.
Yeah?
8.
Oh, it's just you and me.
Has Lucas got a fortune point?
Has Lucas got fortune point? He's
Oh,
got
is it
luck.
Lucas?
Yes, he does.
I don't think he does.
He does have luck. He's a noble.
Privilege
It's
points.
not on his.
He doesn't have luck. He's rubbish.
No, Andy, you are 100% right.
No, I'm wrong. He does have luck. It's just the other side of the sheet.
So
can
yes,
go
he
to
can
a
spend fortune point.
3.
Take it to
No.
4 or 2. Did anyone
Yeah.
roll
I
4 or
got
2?
2.
And I got 4.
You got 4
Oh.
too.
So it's going to
So
have
we're
to be
gonna need
you
to have another
that needs
chef.
to go to a 7. Did anyone get? What did
No,
you
we-
roll?
What?
We
So
both
no,
rolled
what
three.
the 4 or the 2 is
No.
going to have to shift
Yeah, we both
because
rolled
you're
threes.
going to have to move up
Yeah.
one, then move up another one.
So
Because there's only
2
7 numbers in total, and the
Okay, so
entire
2
round.
of us are going to have to
Who got?
spend.
Who got?
Yes.
I'll
I
spend
got
one.
the 2. So
I'll go up to 5. Can you
I've
go
got
to 5?
5.
You've got 5.
I'm on 9, so I'm fine.
So is
Yeah,
anyone
go
on
down to
6?
So someone's got to go down to 1. which would be
I could, but do we need both of us to?
Why the
So
side?
just one move.
Because somebody's got 2 and 4.
We move a number, we go into one of their 2 numbers.
Yeah.
Either up or
So
down.
you need to move to
Yeah,
2,
so-
and then
so-
you need
so-
to move to 1.
No, he's
Lucas
moving.
goes
Yeah,
down
Luke, or
to
Yeah.
your
you-
number,
Yeah.
and then you two, between you, go down one more number to 1.
Not me. I'm on 4.
Oh, you're on 4,
Sage
you're-
is on 2.
Well, you could go
Oh,
up to
2.
5.
No, because
Okay.
someone else has
He's
got
on
5.
5, so,
Oh,
it'll be,
okay.
so it'll be Sage.
Yeah.
Just spend 1 fortune point. There we go.
This is
Golly.
supposed to be a simple system.
Such a simple system.
My
Wow.
brains.
Alrighty. Unbelievably.
That's unbelievable.
It's not the most likely. As the coachman, oh bloody hell, he says, will it be goblins this time? He says, maybe it'll be one of those one of those griffins without wings. He says, we got attacked by those once.
Oh,
He says, oh, they're bloody awful they are.
yeah, no, I've
We
seen
got
it.
attacked by one of those dragons without legs once as well. Well, they do have legs. They've got back legs. They still have front legs.
No front legs.
Ah, no.
That is a woman.
You probably wouldn't know.
No, I would, because that was explained to me. It was the
Oh, you're
one
right,
piece
it's the
of
one
lore.
thing.
It's the one thing I do know
Yep.
is dragons and wyverns.
And
That's 2
Lore
things.
Monsters Boy would also
More
know.
monsters, boy, will know. Yes, quite.
That's a wyvern.
Right.
Oh, bloody hell. Well, whatever it was, he says, it were horrific, really big, and a big, long, snaky neck, and its head were like the size of a horse. He says, well, maybe it weren't quite that big, but it were big. He says, do you I hope it's not one of them.
Do you enjoy your job?
No.
No.
He says, no, it pays well, though.
Right.
Mm.
Okay, that'll
He
be
says,
why.
pays well. He says, I'll be getting pension in 5 years. He says, just 5 more years.
Oh no.
I'm surprised they
No,
have
that's right. That means we've got like 4 years before he's going
Do you remember the really nice sergeant we met on the road?
Yes.
What?
Flaster.
Flaster's
Flaster.
brother.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ah, poor Flaster.
Poor Sergeant Flaster.
But we met him like at least 3 or 4 times before he died as a result of our actions.
Just died off screen.
Mm.
Yes.
We don't know he's dead.
3 o'clock in the afternoon is when you hear the unfortunate sounds echoing down from the mountains. Some sort of distant wailing screech. Chap himself doesn't hear it at all.
No, there's something.
I didn't hear nothing.
Sounds awful.
I didn't hear nothing.
Sounds like
I heard nothing.
kind of noise.
It's around about 5 o'clock though, as the wind is whipping up.
That's a good
And
point. Can
your
we get a
hair
lore
is
monster
lifting.
test on what that roll?
Oh
says?
yeah, we need a little monster test on that.
I mean,
That's what it's for.
rated it. I have literally 1 point in it. Oh, it's fast though.
Pass successes, please.
Well, because it's an advanced skill.
So good. It's undead.
Oh,
It's not living.
Ugh.
That is a screech that is coming from not living lungs.
Oh, that's not good.
There is something up there that is not alive,
Do you have many
but
problems
is moving.
with the restless dead round here?
He says, place where we're going. That's what it was originally made for or something.
Oh no.
have we not come across something that flies and is undead before?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, but I'm choosing to ignore that. If it's that
There ain't nothing up there.
Oh,
So,
no.
Leopold, should I be channeling?
I mean, how far away?
Oh, distant. He didn't even hear it.
I mean, it sounded very far away. I'll let you know if it sounds like it's getting closer.
It's around about 4 o'clock when we get your your intuition test.
Intuition, not perception.
Intuition.
Interesting. So that's 5 successes.
You're on the road to hell.
Oh, good.
That's
It's not the highway, though. It's
Yeah.
just
that's
It's no technological breakdown.
yeah, quite. And you're just feeling a little bit
I mean,
antsier.
deep cut
Yeah,
reference.
yeah, quite. Feeling a little
I
bit,
love that.
feeling a little bit more uncertain as it goes until eventually it just hits you almost like a wave. You have crossed a threshold, and what is coming is wrong. Really wrong. To the point that you find as you breathe in, it's shaky. And you didn't even realize until you did it, and a chill goes down your neck. It's a beautiful sunny day. The wind is up, and for those of you who look out the left side of the carriage, if our riders look out to the left, they will see a sheer drop. Not worth looking at. Lucas, oh no. No. Move over to the other side of the top of the coach for your novitiate, who's like, no. As she moves over, the whole coach leans in that direction. But for you, prickle of sweat that gets caught in your bandage around your eyes. It's not good. As the coach begins to go downhill, as it heads towards somewhere, and you can feel it in your stomach. It's just not good. We'll be there in about an hour. He says, "You all right there?"
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. He says, "I bloody know it's coming." He says, "About half an hour." He says, "That's when we'll hit the mist." He's pretty much spot on. Not that any of you have perfect time sense, but approximately half an hour later, the mist indeed is rising around the edges of the mountain. The steep, sheer sides are completely blanketed by it. It almost makes it look safer. And as you press forwards, minute by minute, the distance you can see shortens and shortens. But it's all about a level you can see above it, just not in front of you directly, like anything could be sitting inside the road ahead.
Oh, good.
Fortunately for the good father, it makes very little difference. It's just a muffling of the sound, a deadening of the echoes, which in many respects leaves you as blind or more blind as them, depending upon just how thick the mist gets, as it hairs around a corner past a host of caves, where he makes the sign of the hammer as he goes past them, and under his breath goes, "Please Sigma, please Sigma, please Sigma, please Sigma." Nothing comes out of the caves. As it drives by.
He's on his last nerve.
As it passes through there, their coat bounces over something. Goblin corpses. What?
Do they have ears?
At least one of them does. They've also got a very crushed part of the face with a coat you've just gone across it. As it continues on, you can tell why this is not exactly a favourite posting. It says, normally 3 months ago, and then down they go, swapping round. Nobody likes it's a march. 3-day march, Carlsberg they're the ones that run it. Whoever it is up Osland, they do their one in a 6-month run round, I believe. Says, "Trust me, father, it's not the sort of place you should be going. We're going to be there soon, you'll see it." Says, "You'll see it rising out the mist up ahead, it'll be high."
I won't.
Yeah. Oh, no, of course you won't. Says, "No, of course, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
My apologies.
It's all the time.
My apologies." And you go wending down between spires, peaks, wreathed with mist, until eventually, for those of you on top, it does indeed rise, approximately half a mile away. Surrounded by mountains on either side, they drop down, and in the middle, a tall, lone, peaked tower with a host of battlements, walls, and brass edging around all of it. Who's on top? Let's start off with Ilk. Can I please have an intuition check?
It's going to be 1 success.
1 success. Looking at it is a little bit like looking at the sun. Now, what I mean by that is not that it's bright and it's shining, but that it hurts the eye. And you're quite aware, not your physical eye, it's your etheric senses. Looking at it hurts. You can feel, if you move away, you can feel the beat of it. And it has a beat. For those of you on top who are able to see Ulrich, his hair moves against the wind ever so slightly every 3/4 of a second or so, as the beat of the source of whatever is in there comes out. It's magical.
But not a recognizable wind.
it would be better to say it's the winds of magic.
Okay.
They're all howling out of there. And you're over half a mile from it. And you can feel it even here. You may. Intuition test, please.
Yay.
Oh, 60. Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it's 66?
The other number is an 8.
Oh.
Yeah. No, unless
Nope,
it
I'm
has
happy.
something to do with holy vision.
You may. You're sitting in the coach and you feel a lurch in your belly. It shifts slightly and a pressure builds up inside you. It's the spiritual equivalent to sort of needing the toilet. It's a pressure. It's a pressure that's within you and it feels like it should be released, that you should go and do something, but you are as aware of what to do as an infant who doesn't understand what they are and they begin to wail, I need a poo, as the child wails, doesn't understand what's happening. It's like there's something welling up inside you and you don't know what it is and it's upsetting. It twists in you. It's not in your belly, it's just in yourself. And there's an immediate thrum that passes through you about the same time. And it causes you to shake. Gerhard,
It's a great place we're going
roll
to.
yourself an intuition test.
This could be really bad.
Ooh.
No, well, it's a crit.
Yes!
Let's see how many crits it is. It is 8.
Eight successes on a crit.
Yeah. It was just an 11 crit.
You've been sitting there looking through your book,
Mhm.
and beside you, Yume shivers. Enough for you to twist round, see what's up. Her eyes are blinking as you are suddenly drawn to... You've been trying your hardest to imagine what it's like to live in Leopold's world. To sense things that are beyond senses. You've been trying magical things too, but you don't know where to start. It's really annoying. But Leopold is almost a grounded sense because you are aware that his hearing is extraordinary. And he can sometimes hear things that are outside of your vision. So he hears things coming up or coming from the outside. And for the first time, you think you get it because you know where this thing is. It's that direction. And it's that direction. And you can feel a thrum, and it's hitting your face in waves. Maybe this is something to do with magic. Maybe it's not, you don't know, it's sort of hitting you. Hackles rise slightly at the back of and a cool test, please.
Cool as a cucumber, baby. 1 success.
Perfect.
That's so
It's about right for a cucumber.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
2 successes.
Oh, nice. Earlier that week, just 3.5 days ago, 3 days ago, you were sitting down with Margaret, saying that you have been tasked to go to Brass Keep by the Duke, and you weren't exactly going to say no. And she said something you didn't exactly want to hear. I can't go there.
All right.
I just can't go there. I can sense it now. It will unbind me.
Oh.
Just say I'm ill.
Right, can do.
Just tell everyone that I'm ill.
Sure. As a doctor, I would know these things.
Exactly.
Mhm.
She says, but be aware, it is a dangerous place. And I hope you do not sense it when you get there. If you do,
Right.
it's perhaps more dangerous than I thought.
Oh, good. Oh,
Well, we're both aware that you are latent in ability. And if it's strong enough to reach your senses, then it's perhaps more dangerous than I expect. So be aware of that is the case. And if it is the case, make sure you tell Elric.
I was going to anyway. Yeah, okay, will do. And I place my stones piece. Can we do a roll just to see who won? Just to see who won.
She smiles and goes, oh, I'll think about that one. I'll think about that one.
Okay.
Leopold, do yourself an intuition test.
8 successes.
8 successes. Nice. You have been feeling uncomfortable for some time. After all, road to hell. And road to and hell are not things that we particularly like on a normal day. And as it comes down, you can feel it. You go round the corner and it's there. And it is like the raw, unfiltered sun hitting you. But wrong. And interestingly to him, it has colour. It beats upon his face in deep shades of purple, wreathed through with green, and he is slightly stunned. Cool test. As the enormity of it washes across. He finds himself wanting to lean away from it. The heat is like going out on a far too hot day. But it's not heat, it's wrong. You're not entirely sure if anyone would want to go in that. Okay, admittedly, you're going to feel it more than most. But how wrong is that? Do yourself a lore theology test.
Ooh.
Good.
I might fortune point that.
Yep, good.
Fortune point that.
Might come in handy.
Yeah. So it's an advanced skill, though, isn't it? So
Yes.
is it a tens of your advances? The most you can get?
Yes.
So 2 successes.
2 successes. Nice. And Sigmar stood upon Naked Bluff and looked down upon the land. And there saw a wrong-made manifest, a shard of the North. Now, you read this multiple times. It's an opening passage to a host of the Silver Flames. Many prayers, intonations, stories. It's clearly important. And now you know what it's about. Sigmar came here. Sigmar was here because you know the story that it's involved with. Because you've read it. It's enough for you to make you almost want to go find your holy book and run your fingers over it one more time just to double check. But if so,
I don't think you do that just for the comfort, apart from anything else.
there was a great evil here. Now, unfortunately, stories being stories, and 2,500 years of time has left it as nothing more than a great evil. But it was a great evil from the south, interestingly, even though it said from the north this shard had come. But the evil had come from the south. And the combination of the two had made this. And Sigmar sought to destroy it and failed. Failed. It's interesting because you had not associated Brass Keep, an actual physical location you'd heard of multiple times, with these tales. Because these tales at the very end make it quite clear that that's what the flame burns for and it's what you have to protect against. That it just sits there waiting and looming for a moment of weakness. Hey, Birdie, you're fine. Anyway. No, you're fine. Literally nothing. This place is cool.
Why are you so pale?
This armor is so uncomfortable.
It's going to smell of vomit for weeks.
Sorry,
But this
just
meat
try
pie
this forward by
finds.
69.
Yeah.
Woo! 66 sold by 69.
Dudes.
Dudes.
I would like from you a cool test. Or I'd say what I'm going to say. Depends what you roll on this.
27.
Pass?
Yeah.
Good. 2.
Two successes.
Good. You're sitting. You're in the coach, aren't you? You're.
No, because
We're on top.
once
you've
we
moved up
got
on top
once
of
it
it.
got
Yeah, that sounds good.
badder.
Badder.
You look over, and it's one of those moments where, truth be told, it's a little bit like someone slam zooms, and you slam zoom straight into that tower as your sight from where you are all the way back there over quite some distance away, and it's like you're there as your vision just homes in on it. The incredibly fine detail of the brasswork, which is marked through with symbols of the dark gods. They're tiny, etched in all the way along the edges, across the top. But interestingly, they're bound. It's not that they own the place, it's that there's something stuck there. These are symbols to hold it in place. hold it. And you know, rather upsettingly, because you know. Can I please have a cool test?
One success.
One success, take 9 wounds.
Oi.
As your eyes begin to bleed, and you hear a howl. Can I have an intuition test from you, please, Elric?
0 successes.
0 success is enough for you to sense that there's an enormous, sudden disturbance in the aether. And it causes your senses to shudder. It could just be this thing you're going towards. Because let's be honest, it's awful.
He'll still shout, just brace.
I would like one more cool test.
What about a stealth aether roll?
In fact, stealth aether. Do that test.
Okay. I also have the silent step aether.
Good. You get the benefit from it then.
No, that's a fail. Can I spend a fortune?
Yes, you
point?
can, and you might want to do so.
I shall do. That's a pass. 4, 5,
How many
6 successes.
Oh, screw you! I got 5. As it howls past, and you feel your essence being stripped, but it can't find you, and it drifts right by, and tears off. A momentary slip from your path. Real fear. But it's just a horrible place that you're in. She's fine. Nothing to worry about there. As her eyes widen.
Yeah, and I don't know why you're bleeding.
Oh, your eyes are bleeding.
Eric, I think I'm doing magic.
In the distance,
Getting
Father
into that
Liverpool,
camp.
you hear a ah, ah, and that it's really distant, and only you hear it.
Does that sound like a raven I've heard before? A white one.
All ravens sound the same.
A live raven. As the coach makes its way down through the mist towards the long wall that pens off the horrors of Brass Keep. And we'll find out what lies within after the break.
Hi, I'm Andy. You've just been watching me playing LAWhammer. Hopefully you're enjoying what we're doing, and you might want to go check out our Patreon, where you can see all of the special rules that Andy Law has written for this, as well as all the maps, the careers, and everything that he's done. You may even want to fling a little money our way, which we can spend on lights, cameras, mics, or we can just blow it all on hats. You may want to visit our friendly Discord community as well, where people chat about the episodes and come up with their various theories and conspiracies and so on. So any support you can give us, that'd be great. But whatever you do, like, subscribe, and smash the bell for notifications.
Rather pale-faced soldiers peering down from above, and 2 to either side of the gate, passing the coach through. The driver waves as he goes by. One of them at the side lethargically lifts an arm to wave back. You've been seen some time ago as you crested the ridge some distance away. And already, the Castellan, the man responsible for the Biddenheim forces, is there to receive you. He looks tired. A man probably in his mid-30s, a heavy moustache and a bit of a beard that looks more like it was grown by accident rather than by design. The same at the sides. He clearly hasn't shaved for a while. He looks up and says, "You're back again already?" He says, "With a priest?" As the coachman calls down, we're not, it's a different crew. He goes, "Right, oh well."
Crew, I like that.
He says, and looks as if to say, who? As the coach comes to a halt. Lucas goes, should I make introductions?
Yes, probably a good idea.
Right. As he opens the coach door at the side, sticks his head out and goes, right, hello. I would like to introduce you to Jungfreud's Jaegers, who are here on behalf of the Graf of Midnight. And you hear a Graf. Jungfreud, like Reichland. He says, yes, absolutely. He says as he comes out, delighted to meet you, by the way. My name's Lucas. He says, right. He says, Captain Lintz, Arthur Lintz. As he says, Reichland. He says, yes, quite well. Actually, between you and me, I'm a Midlander. He says, for my sins. And yes, Young Boy Jaegers. I should probably bring him out, shouldn't I? On behalf of the Graf. He says, yes. And he looks up and sees an elf, a blind priest.
We're wearing our things.
Hopefully you
Yeah.
Dabbed it.
wipe me over.
A wizard. Wow.
Stocky wizard.
Indeed. Very strong wizard.
Now we're so self-conscious now.
Strong wizard. As he looks over and goes, well, yes, do so. As Bruce comes in and goes, well, he's quite perplexed. He says, are you ready?
Yes, very much so. Did you get his rank?
He's captain.
Good stuff, thank you.
He says, House Lintz, I know very little about it. They're from Midnight.
That's fine, I'm just going to go straight with Captain.
He says, well, how's many more from who he might be and what he represents.
Oh.
He's a Midnight family.
Good point. Let me check. 5 successes?
On the heraldry?
Yeah.
I mean, really, is it how many advances do you have in heraldry?
I have 20.
20 advances?
111.
Whoa,
so
wow, holy
actually
crap! That's
three
dude, House
successes.
Lintz. You've heard of House Lintz? Wow, it's a minor house of Middenheim and swears directly to the Tollbringers. And there's little else that need to be said on that because you know little else beyond that. As he goes, right. I suppose that I would get your retro ready. So
Yep, no.
he's got
Ready to
no
go.
argument. He's standing straight back.
So. Captain.
Are we all coming out?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
sitting on top.
With
Well,
the
I'll come
Jaegers.
down and stand on my best behaviour.
Behind. So
We're
Behind.
wearing our things.
We're wearing our
wolves.
claws.
Yeah.
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 Heroes of Middenheim. As he looks at you, sees the claw, looks at you, actually looks shocked, and goes, hello.
Hello. You'll
He
probably
says-
be seeing this.
Yes, he says, and looks at the seal. Passes over to the side as older gentleman, pair of spectacles with extra lens at the top comes over. He says, the seal is intact, sir. Says, so you're here on behalf of the Graf?
Correct.
Says,
Yes.
I've never heard of your company before. I must apologise for my lack of awareness. Might I ask what brings you to this cursed place?
You may. We are
Would
on...
you like some wine?
Yes.
Yes, please, come this way.
Very good.
He says,
Lucas?
this is ill-timed. He says, things have got very bad here.
Worse than usual?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
Much worse.
Makes sense.
I hope that you're not here on an excursion. This is not a good place to go.
We're here obviously for business for the Graf specifically, but yes, we do intend to enter the keep. Suffice to say.
Right. As Lucas comes in beside you and says, yes,
Could you perhaps drop the pursuing fugitive?
ma'am.
I'm just...
Says, as comes in and says, well, I'll give you a walk around the place. He says, this place is formerly called the Picket. It's informal, actually. Says, "There's the Midland defensive wall. Pardon me, I've had very poor sleep. I'm not myself." Says,
Quite all right.
I'll take you in.
I am also a doctor. Would you like something to try and help you?
I think we would be better served by your priest.
Right.
He says,
Nightmares.
he turns round. "Ah, wizard. Yes, that's the least of our
While
concerns."
he's turned
Yes.
to him, I'm going to try and catch Gerhardt's eye. Just
Yes.
they might not have heard the news from Mittenheim.
That's okay. We'll get build up.
Family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh. As he goes, "That's actually the least of our concerns. I wish it was just nightmares. The nightmares are common here, but no, something's happened. Something's changed in there.
Are
He
there
says-
wizards here?
Not in our
Any
camp, but
attached to squads, no?
there's just been an arrival over in Talabheim. They've got an entire mercenary company with them. They've got a wizard.
Where are
We
they
don't have a
from?
wizard
Do you
here.
know where they're from?
The company,
The mercenaries?
the mercenary company, they come from wherever. It says, the grudge bringers.
Any?
Do you have Law of Warfare?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, let me just make sure, because I think it's just basic.
They sound nice.
Pen. With the
Yeah, one
grudges.
success.
One success. You've heard of the grudge bringers largely for their campaigns down in the border princes, where they had often been going against, as it was noted inside the Altdorfspieler, the orc. He says, they arrived about a week ago. Actually, a day before, it got really bad, so there are mumbles in the camp that this is their
They
doing.
brought it.
No one's crossed the threshold, though, but they've got a wizard with them. Bright wizard, actually. She's looking. Apologies, my lord. I'm sorry. My mind is it's hard to keep.
Yeah, it's quite all right. We're relatively don't necessarily worry about sort of the right who you should be talking to or anything like that. We're quite an open company, realistically. So
Jungfreud,
to say.
you're far from home. You're from the south of Reichland, is that right? I'd heard news the Rubersreich had gone through some difficult times.
Yes, very correct. Very good. You're very well informed.
I was, pardon me. I was told by His Royal Highness Heinrich when he was here.
Oh, right.
He's passed it. We were discussing it over wine. You haven't heard. I actually thought that you were going to be him. He was supposed to be coming back.
Might I ask, Captain, when you last had news from Mittenheim?
When he left, I suppose. When he last arrived, so a month ago.
A month ago.
Right.
We should perhaps go inside
Yes.
and have this conversation.
It's a long dining table with those of you who choose to sit at one end, along with him, the captain who sits at the top of the table, and your entourage sort of hanging back.
Mhm.
So any of you who wish to stand with the back, you can do so if you wish. Lucas is clearly sitting because, God damn it, he needs a seat that's not wobbling all the time. And there's an audible from him as he sits down. All of you, bar Birdie, feel deeply wrong, uncomfortable in your own individual ways. Whether it's a twisting, roiling pressure of something, or whether it's just the wrongness that lays beyond, or whether it's just that howl in the distance.
I'm just going to stand and try and blend into the background, etherically, physically,
Just-
in
you
every
are not
way,
spiritually,
emotionally, in every way. I am just the jongleur of the Jaegers.
As the captain sits at the head, holding his wine, having already ordered some food, he says, "I have to apologise. We're mostly on field reserves." He says, "We're due a delivery. Actually, it hasn't arrived yet."
Did
Says-
we have any food with us?
You've got your own provisions. It's not exactly a big, gigantic stash of food, though.
Might I play something to entertain the room while you talk, my lord, Captain?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, probably for the best, actually.
Please
Says-
quite loudly so no one
Sure.
outside can hear.
I go along.
So, what news from
badly. No, it's fine.
Midnight.
Good.
Yes.
No, it's fine.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, fine. So it's not the best news, unfortunately. But it does
As he drinks his wine
pertain to why we're
and
here.
nicks it all and puts it down.
Okay.
Apologies. It's been a day.
No. Well, it's
We've been chasing its shadows.
right.
We keep on feeling that there's infiltrators in the camp. He says, it's like two walls. You see, we've got two walls, and we're in the middle. And people keep seeing things in the shadows, but there's nothing there. And it's been terrible for the last. Sorry, you said news at midnight. Sorry, I'm losing my track. Why are you here?
We are following an individual who attempted to assassinate.
Maybe responsible for this.
Could be. Who attempted to assassinate
You're here to fix it.
Boris.
Good.
That's not what I've said.
When did this all start?
We just over a week ago, about a week ago. 8-9 days, I think.
So that's
I'm not sure. I mean, I
just,
don't know.
just me in terms of my head. Is that would be before Dagmar
Yes.
attacked?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, as you'll know if you of course you won't. I apologize. You're blind, but for anyone else, the mist makes it difficult to tell whether it's night or day. It perpetually just has this sort of twilight feel. It wasn't like that before. It was clear, but now we don't know how long it's been. Really, if I'm being absolutely honest, I barely slept.
Sorry. Just did you take in what I said then?
Pun? What?
Did you take in what I said?
About what?
The assassination.
Sorry. Did I give you my name?
Yeah,
I did,
okay.
didn't I? Yes.
You
I
did,
didn't get
yes.
your name. Sorry. You're the Jungfreud. Yes, of course.
Correct.
No, you're Jungfreud. Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Gerhard.
Gerhard. Sorry, I apologize, Gerhard. My manners are all over the place.
That is quite alright.
I did get some food sent for, didn't I?
You
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Father, perhaps maybe we could get some spiritual. I don't know.
Yes, of course. He says, we had a priest here. He died 5 days, 6, maybe 7 days ago.
It's unfortunate.
Torn to shreds in the night, we think.
Oh, to shreds, you say.
But all those who saw it, they came to tell me, and we got back and there was no sign of the body or blood or anything. It was gone. Just gone. So we don't know what's happened. We don't know what happened.
I think is Elric trying to catch
Yeah.
Elmenway's side?
And he just mouth all good.
Captain, do you mind if I examine you as a doctor rather than anything else?
I'd rather get the news over first, if you don't mind, sir.
Yeah, okay.
He says,
Let's try again.
why are you here? You said you're pursuing someone.
We are pursuing an assassin who...
An assassin who would come here.
Yes, we believe has come this way, who attempted to assassinate Boris Todbringer,
Oh, God.
and also, I'm afraid to say, demolished... What's the castle called?
What,
The palace.
The palace, yeah.
the
Wolf
Middenplatz.
Palace.
Midden,
The
the
Middenplatz.
part of the
Middenplatz.
Middenplatz.
A large portion of the Middenplatz through an explosion.
There were a lot of deaths. We lost a third of the Knights Panther base there.
Oh. And de Graaf, he is all right.
He is fine, which is why we are here.
And the princess.
She is also fine.
And
She's now
Heinrich.
The Baron.
Sad.
exiled.
Yeah. Heinrich.
Isn't
Exile.
that's not news, is it? Like people don't know he's been exiled.
No, he's been sent to Kislev as the proper.
She'll like
No,
stop playing
Heinrich
her
travelled
flute.
through here, he said last,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, some time
She'll
ago.
stop
not on
playing
your
her.
way.
She'll stop playing her flute and say, "No, not exiled. It's poor taste. He is accompanying the diplomat from Kislev back to the motherland. They suffered a great loss, and the Graf believed that only royalty could do justice
As
to
he leans
such an act."
forward. Takes
Goes
a
back to
bottle
playing
and
flute.
shakily pours himself some more wine.
They're friends.
Stefan has passed, though.
No,
Yes.
no. No.
What else can we tell him?
Merit! He calls, and door opens, and a rather wan-looking fellow. He says, "Bring down the flags. Half-mast. Yes. Goes off.
I'll be relatively frank and direct. We obviously will have your blessings to enter, because that is what we intend to do. We have a way to
You
go.
can't enter without permission.
I know.
You'll need to go to. You'll need to go. I mean, it's a bit of a trek.
Sorry, for here. Is that not your job? Can you not give us permission?
Oh,
That's
yes,
fine.
Of course.
Yeah, no.
Yes. It says-
We have it with the Ostlands, or we have a way in with the Ostlands, but we're looking for a connection, if you can offer it, with the Talipheimers.
Oh well, I believe their camp has been completely taken over by Commander Bernhard.
Bernhard.
Yes.
Okay, that's the gentleman we'd have to speak to.
They sent word about, I don't know how long it was, but they sent word and they said that they had taken control of the camp. Talipheim is, I mean, there is concerns obviously word from the south that they should bring such a force up here that it could be the first steps towards an actual invasion.
Right.
But
And how?
it's possibly worse than Ostland.
Okay. How do you
They've
all
sent a
communicate?
general,
Ostland have a general. Okay.
General von Rauch.
Say again. Sorry.
Von Rauch,
Von Ralcon.
I think so. Yes.
Right.
They sent a messenger over. There's only 100 of us here in the garrison,
Yes.
but there's almost 1,000 of them on the Ostland side.
Right. Good to know. And how do you communicate with each other? This
We
message
just send runners.
Runners.
It takes about 2 hours to get to the other camps.
Okay.
And you
Is
have to go, there's a mountain trail. But, we can't. There is a rise between each of our encampments of mountains, and there's old trails that have been there for centuries, and we just make our way around. And then the extra wall on the other side. There's 3 roads that lead from here. One to Ostland, one down into Hawkwind,
Right.
and one, of course, down into, Nordland originally, but Middenheim now, I suppose. Middenheim, I suppose.
Do you have the ability to offer a guide? Should we wish
Oh,
to?
of course. You can send someone over with you.
Might I inquire? I had
Turns around and gets shocked that there's even someone there, even though you were playing.
I had heard that if one is not a subject of the graph, which none of us are, as we are under the employ of a Reichslander, that we do not need permission. We can enter as long as we take no Ostlanders, Talipheimers, or Midlanders with us.
I suppose that's a technicality.
But we could present that to the other camps.
Are any of you
On-
from Middenheim? From Talabekland? He says, or possibly from Ostland?
No.
Sack and see. He lowers his head.
I see your point. It was a potential route. I shall keep playing.
Not technically.
No, I had heard that, but clearly it wasn't
And
true.
you've been recognised now.
Yes.
Well, exactly.
So we will need permission.
and I'm
Tootle.
Captain, you're. It sounds like you've been through some hard times recently.
We have. We'd actually sent word out. Our first thought was the return of Heinrich, who requested his return. He's very capable of this sort of thing.
Yes.
This is his sort of thing. You know?
We have people that can certainly try and.
I hope
fill
so.
his
I hope
stead.
so. I mean, if you have the trust of the graph, you of course have my trust also.
If I would you? Do you think it would give your men a bit of a boost to have some sort of spiritual guidance potentially?
I was going to suggest perhaps I lead a service.
Yeah.
It can't hurt.
That might. The high man will take any coin.
Sure.
Might I inquire as to whether there are cordial overtures usually between your camps?
We all know each other. We share festivals together.
I understand that
Yes.
General von Raukov is a devout Sigmarite High Father. Perhaps it would be appropriate for a ranking member of the Order of the Silver Flame to invite him and a small company to attend a sermon you would be taking. Can I do my schemer question and say, would that be a good
What's your schemer question?
my schemer
Screamer question.
is, I guess, would a High Father's sermon be
Mhm.
appropriate
Mhm.
to ask
Mhm.
a Talipheim leader and the Ostlander leader to come to?
Okay, go for it.
2 successes. I think it was my Yes, 2 successes.
Appropriate, yes. Likely to cause offence, yes. Middenheim are Ulrican.
Okay.
Talabheim are staunchly Talite.
Talite.
Staunchly. To the point that they, in many places, and still ban Sigmarism. Sigmarism was banned up until Magnus basically said, "Stop! Sigmar, get back in there." And we'll put the Archlector in there too. Staunch Sigmarite. There's only a single temple of Sigmar in Talabheim.
Okay.
Just one. Compare that to the hundreds in Altdorf. Compare that to the scores in Null. There's one. Just one. Could cause offence. Ostland, staunchly Ulrican, normally. Which means it may cause offence. And that's what your successes suggest.
It might, but von Raukov is a staunch Sigmarite, I've heard.
Is he?
And who
Well,
is?
if he is.
And we don't know if Commander Bernhardt's even a Talabheim.
Could we not lure them in with something more mundane, like news from the south?
We could just speak to them first and
Yes.
figure out what. Yeah.
Could you send a runner? Could you send a runner?
Perfect.
Yes.
I just send a runner and say that they would tell you to come to them. They always do.
Lucas would be an ideal person to send
Well,
in terms of
if they'll tell us
communications.
to come to them, should we not just go to them, save the time?
No, I think it is polite to send a runner.
We don't want to just turn up on their
Well,
doorstep.
No.
We could do a sermon for the people here
Yeah,
whilst we
I-
wait.
Absolutely.
We certainly need to pass on the news regarding the attack on the Graf, and that he is standing strong, that he has an heir, even though the flags are at half-mast, etc. Lucas would be well placed to do that, I think.
Because just not whatever is required.
Lucas has
Gerald,
got some buffs recently. He's
And
Gerald,
Cla-
would you go with Lucas, please?
He says, yes, of course I will. Although I should stay by your side.
Collect can go to Ostland.
As long as somebody goes with Lucas, that's my main concern. I don't like having him out of our line of sight.
Well, we'll get you assigned some quarters so that you can freshen up. Apologies for the just general state of affairs here. It's been difficult. It's been very difficult.
I suggest you gather as many of your men as you can, and we can get some good spiritualism, sort of bring them back potentially, bolster some morale, all that sort of thing.
So, our rooms are relatively Spartan. Not literally, because there is no Sparta in Warhammer. But they are most certainly metaphorically Spartan. Simple stone rooms with very simple beds and a single table and a single chair in each one of them. The noble appointments, which will be given to yourself and yourself, come with a single chamber for servants with a double bunk bed. 2 of them to either side for up to 4 servants right beside you. Everyone else, it's just a single room, but it is a single cell. It's still, if anything, slightly better than what you had in the Bright College. So life could be worse. The men, and they are pretty much all men, are a mess. Some of them are yawning and just tired. Others are very pale. But as they come and gather in one of the halls, many of them stay out, obviously, for keeping their individual watches. 1 or 2 of them literally fall asleep in the corner and start snoring. As they're reawoken again. They're pale, their eyes are red and bloodshot. They're a bit of a mess. But you're right. Perhaps a good sermon will see them through. Something particularly rousing from our High Father of Sigmar.
Indeed.
How is our rhetoric?
Brigadier, is it? That's what I was going to ask. Is it rhetoric or is it charm? Because it's public
It's
speaking.
rhetoric.
Okay.
We've had this before.
It just,
haven't
it just
we?
seems a shame
Yeah.
that none of the public speaking talents apply to rhetoric. They only seem to apply to charm.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because in
The only
terms
time
of how
we
many
do
people I'd affect.
If
Yeah.
you're, it depends on what your aim is.
So maybe just those. I mean, whether I'm happy using it in rhetoric, but just I feel like those talents should apply
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's just how many people.
Yeah, totally. I agreed, actually.
Yeah. I mean, my
completely
skill is
agree.
exactly the same. So
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
it's like your lore rhetoric is how good the speech is, but the
So-
charm is how people
How influential it
how
is.
influential it is.
6, 7 successes.
Oh,
Nice.
sweet. It is a fine speech stroke sermon. And is a crib. The one that you had heard Werner Stoltz give when he was speaking to Ulrikins back when you were a novitiate in the order. And as you have noted more than once, stealing is definitely worthwhile when it's good stuff. And you tell the story. Yeah, quite. You and you tell the story of Sigmar and his direct involvement with the Tudors and how they were led directly to Blackfire Pass against impossible odds. They were all going to die, but they didn't, because they all worked together. They looked after each other. They looked for their neighbours' back to ensure that everything was good. And it's all the classic piece of Sigmarite fraternity and working together as a group. There's quite a lot of knots. The possibility of offence is high. But to see if anyone takes it. They do not appear to. Perhaps they're just too wasted to be bothered. At the end of it, there is indeed a huzzah! And the men are most certainly enthused as much as they can be. So, are we sending folks off?
Yeah.
And in which direction to which camp? Are we going to rely on their runners? Or are you going to send some of your runners? What's the plan?
What I'd like to do as well, just out the back end of the sermon, is literally as they leave. You know, I'm very much seeing this as like say goodbye to the vicar as you leave church, kind of thing. But as they do that, I'd just like to as they each go past, just do a quick sort of medicine check, see you know what I mean, see if there's anything.
They're all
very
exhausted.
They're just knackered.
They are
There's
knackered.
a little bite marks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They are just completely
Jaundice or something like that.
knackered.
Okay.
Suggesting that their sleep has been really badly affected. So, are we sending off in either direction?
Well, how quickly will the runners get there?
2 hours.
Couple of hours. So 4 hours in total, plus however long it takes to talk.
Lucas,
So it'll be the rest of the day. It'll be tomorrow before you really get word.
Lucas to the Ostlanders.
No,
No.
just
No.
send their runners.
They were sending their runners to tell us to then go, and then Lucas will go after.
He's really good at this stuff now, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he's not
But
going to
this is
get
just
to
an
speak to the
invite to
general.
treat
Yeah.
as opposed
Okay,
to
fine.
treat.
Yeah.
We also
That's
don't
right.
want
This
to
is
send
just
him
the
off on a
invite.
company.
That will
It
turn
might-
into potentially
With a-
3 runs,
with
though.
a run.
Yeah, so
Depends what your
Guy.
speed is. If you want to be resolving
Fast,
this
I think.
quickly, then sending someone on the first run is not a
why
bad
don't
I
we
think-
send Lucas to the Ostlander and you with the runner to the and someone else?
No.
Because there's a bright magus fair.
Send Elric!
I think
Even Elric was crazy.
we're sending a runner so that we can all go. Right, that's the plan. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
but if we want to be fast, we
Yeah.
need 2 parties to
So
go
you
speak
don't
to
send-
we
each
don't
party.
split the party.
Do they not have a parley where they would all meet? Is it they go round to each other's camps?
No.
So you send your boy.
Calixed.
And we
Yeah,
could attend
to
to
the
call
Ostlanders.
one because they may say
They don't have a spot.
Lucas goes to the Talabheimers
Okay, so
I'm-
that would work.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, good
That's
point.
how
Because
that
we've
runs.
got Calix. Yeah.
Yes.
because Calix we know is already the thing.
Yeah.
The thing that we have to convince is the Talabheimers.
Yeah, specifically.
Lucas,
I am not comfortable sending Lucas off with a runner.
who do you want to send him with?
No, nobody. I
Why
think
do
we
you-
we send a
this
runner
is
and say
literally his
we
thing.
would like to come and see. It's almost nighttime, right?
Yeah.
It is indeed.
So we send a runner and we say we would like to come to you tomorrow to talk to you about what's going on here.
All it's just that's his thing.
Well, we're going to have to see.
Like we're not going to resolve it this evening.
Yeah.
You don't know.
If
Give
the
those rolls.
reason is we kept Lucas with us so that we can shield him, sending him away
Is
first
ridiculous.
opportunity
No, you
isn't
don't know.
great.
Well, maybe
You just
someone
need a
could ask the
shield.
priest if time is. Do we need to go in now? Like,
Mhm.
someone
I
asked
wonder.
him.
How
No.
much does time make a difference, Father?
Yeah.
That's too vague a question.
Would it be effective to? Do you think it would be effective to send Lucas now, or a runner now and Lucas later?
That's
Do
not
you
what
wish to
Lindsay
use
was
your
asking.
role in this?
Not on that. I think
That's
it's
not what
really a
Lindsay
bigger-
meant.
I
What did
meant,
you mean?
I meant Do we need to get into Brass Keep
I-
now?
Oh.
I mean, surely the bigger question is, in terms of urgency, is where Dagmar is, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
What you getting at?
Where's Pete level?
I
But
wonder.
like, it might not be him.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
great
great
one.
one.
Where's Pete Lever when he
Yeah.
said
That's
that?
what we're here for.
Okay.
I was going to say, is Dagmar already in
Yeah.
Brass Keep? Was what I was looking for.
Cara
Oh, that was too
Zornas.
It's a pass.
And as you're all gathered together in your own individual, in one of your chambers, separate away from everyone else, and you're discussing what to do next, and the question of where is Pete Leveler anyway? Where is the sword? And it's not some great flash of inspiration from beyond. It's not some great glowing light. It's the vaguest of almost nothing feelings. And just a vague sensation of Brass Keep. It's already there.
He's in there already. So there's no point rushing. We're not going to lay a trap.
Who, Dagmar?
Yeah. Well, the sword is.
Okay. Which doesn't necessarily mean Dagmar, is there?
Chances
Well,
of
yeah.
the two of them being apart slim to none.
I mean, it's
In
possible.
fact,
Yeah.
possibly the opposite. He didn't have the sword.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, of course.
No,
he didn't.
don't get
That's-
mixed
that's
up
not
there.
the people
The
that stole
rat
it.
main.
Yeah.
Dagmar was
sword.
being used by them.
Yeah.
But
Dagmar's
ultimately,
currently
It's
a
been
slave.
so many weeks since
Yeah.
we played this.
Yeah.
But yes, you're absolutely right.
And actually,
yes.
Peak Leveler is more what we're interested in.
Yeah, that's what we're here
Dagmar.
for. Pete Leveler in the behind the helm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the helm, the Turlock helm's helm.
Mm.
Lucas goes, well, then, if it's there already, and we don't, do we want, is speed essential? If it's not essential, then we just get to sleep and get whatever sleep we can. If it is, then
We should just go and see.
we should try and get into the
Forgiveness
both of them as
later.
fast as
The
possible.
reason we thought speed was of the essence was so that we could get in ahead of them and lay a trap. They're already in there. So we're not getting in ahead of them and lay a trap.
I
But-
also,
there's
but
no
all-
one
so
else
I-
listening to us, is it, right?
No, you're in your own room.
If there's a large mercenary force with a wizard that arrived just before this all went horribly wrong, like that's convenient timing. Either in terms of there's something shady going on, or there's something fortuitous going on, and the gods brought them here. And perhaps what we need to do is go in force, not on our own.
I fully agree that potentially going in force. My biggest fear right now is that Brass Keep is binding something in there that, if it should get out, is incredibly bad, and they have a rune weapon in there
That can break.
that can break things.
So we send a runner now. We say we want to come tomorrow. That runner goes off. We go to sleep. We get up in the morning. We go to see them.
And we were trying to mobilise the mercenary company and the 1,000 Oslanders.
only the other thing is
Perhaps Gleason could
Lucas
go
shakes his
tonight.
head and says, "Now I think it would be better if some of us went in one direction or the other, so we can actually treat with them directly, immediately.
I agree.
I mean, if it is actually reaching the point where they might be unbinding something, that's terrifying.
I think we need
And
to
it
do
might be wise, but I do not think that it would be wise for Milo to go.
I also feel it would be bad for us to spend more time here than necessary, based upon the look of the men here. This is a drain.
I don't think it's going to be any better. Than that.
It's probably
No,
worse.
but what I mean is,
The men
us
might be
staying
fresher.
here would drain our resources, drain us. and
every
then we
every
spend the
moment
time.
might be work.
I feel now that every moment counts, and that we should try and appeal to one of these groups to aid us and go in on the basis that we are chasing fugitives who have tried to bring down the Graph and have succeeded in bringing down part of Middenheim, and we believe they are going to try to free whatever's in there.
So
So we need to
perhaps,
get in and stop
perhaps
them.
I think we need to focus on the Talabheimers.
Yes,
we
perhaps
know
we-
the Oslanders. We know we can send Scratch and Sniff, and he'll get that sorted.
Please
What is his
don't.
You're not.
He says
This is
there-
out of character. This
No,
is
Oh, okay.
all in
this is
character.
planning.
Keep the
What,
conversation.
what
in
is his
character.
actual name? Because I still haven't got it.
Calix.
Sucking and see.
Calix.
Sackensee.
Sackety. Yeah,
Sackensee.
Sackensky.
Call him
Sackensky.
Sakinsky. Sakinsky.
Yeah.
It's not that
Sakinsky.
hard. They're just
Sakinsky.
names.
It's like
No.
John Krasinski, but it's Sakinsky.
We've
Got
got
it.
in with
It's like
them
an IKEA. That's
Say
all I
that
can think
in
of. is
Calix.
Calix.
from
That's all I can
the,
think of is Calix.
from Elric's knowledge of
Yes.
the mercenary company. What's their kind of average fighting force?
It's as, how long's a piece of string? Some mercenary companies, you're
They
aware
would
of this
typically
company.
have like
Oh no, you're aware of this one.
yeah.
I think there'll be at least 500-600.
Okay, so it's not as many
At
as
least.
the Ostlanders.
Yeah, no. The Ostlanders probably
But
more
still,
than wizards.
I think it makes sense for us to go to the Talapine mercenary force, perhaps send Calix with Lucas, perhaps, to the Ostlanders.
No, it's easy. That's easy. But look, and I'm going to praise you here, and I don't get too. I'm going to praise you. What you do is make you are good at negotiation.
He
You
says,
make deals,
right,
you work.
I suppose. But where are we best deployed? What is
So
going
I
to be
think
most
we
useful?
deploy you in the
The
hardest
Hochlanders.
environment, which is the Hochlanders.
But it's not just about the hardest and most useful. What is the outcome that we're looking for?
We
If
need
we're just
yes from
simply
both.
permission means that we would need to go to both camps.
Yes,
as
and we
swiftly
need
as
that
possible.
regardless.
But if we're looking for them to help, that's a completely different affair. They'll be there for their own reasons. We might be rebuffed immediately. We might not be. It's difficult to tell. I think I could get into anybody and at least speak to them.
Does Calix think? Does he know General von Roukov, and does he think he can get permission from him?
He looks over and says, he's a border lord, eh? I mean, I've heard of him. He's pretty mental. Says he's a fine shot. Like he's a really good archer. He's like the finest that there is, I think. But no, I've never met him. I mean, he's a lot older than me.
But
I mean, he knows my father.
persuaded if there are cultists?
I mean, if he's taken over, I mean, I'm my father's son, so I'll get an audience. I mean, I'll get an audience at least, but I'd probably be better at bearing a letter or something.
Okay.
That would be wiser. Lucas on the opposite side is like, anyway, on my side, no letter required. Just a matter of determining exactly what needs to be done.
Well,
That's
then
it.
we
So-
send Lucas to the Talapivers, but also we write a letter and send it with.
So yes, so we are under the command of a Reiklander, Jungfreud's Jaegers. That's the company that's going, right? We've been commanded by the Duke, the Graf, to recover the fugitives that attacked him as Electrocount. You're a Middenheimer, you're a Talapiner, you're an Ostlander. So between us, we cover, it's almost a neutral party going in.
Lucas says, right, so then it might be better simply requesting permission and then scouting out and then coming back. We don't know which side is
Yes.
better. It might be that
Mhm.
one side is actually to our advantage and we all go in the opposite direction. So actually, I think possibly two parties, very small, sack and see one side. I'm happy to take the other, although I wouldn't mind somebody to accompany me, some of their soldiers or something. And then I can come back as swiftly as possible and we can make a judgment call on which direction is the best option to go in after.
Exactly.
I think there's something that we're not considering. As we've been approaching this place, I hate to say it, but you all seem tremendously jittery all of a sudden. I don't know why, but you're all a little strung out.
The keep is horrific.
Yeah, it
Oh,
feels really wrong.
Okay.
What? I just thought it was.
Do the colours purple and green, do they have any particular significance?
Well, in
What's
terms
that
of the
like?
winds, there's two strong winds of that.
I can perceive colour. I don't perceive colour, but I can.
Yes,
It's like a stain.
Just circle back to my point.
Oh yes.
You can see how
Answer
strong.
your question.
No,
No,
we were jittery.
I was
That's
just
what
saying you
she
were
said.
jittery. That's all I was saying. And you see,
You said for some reason.
Oh.
What are the reasons?
I wasn't asking. I don't really care.
Wow.
It's gone right to her head.
The point I'm trying to make is you've seen how strung out all the people here are.
Yes.
We don't know how the other two camps have been affected. The chances are that the mercenaries that have arrived are fresher and therefore probably a little less.
Sure.
But if the Ostlanders are in the same state as these guys, we have no idea what the
Or
result
they've
is.
said it's
Flanders
only-
and you as well.
They've also said it's
Yeah.
only got worse since the mercenaries arrived. So if they're feeling this bad now, the mercenaries are probably in the same boat.
I
But
think-
we won't know until we see.
So we have to assume perhaps people won't be behaving in quite the normal way.
And if they have a mage with them, he's feeling what we're feeling right now.
So if I think it pains me to say this, but the direct route with the Ostlanders, a letter that's simple, very clear and simple, the business of the Graf, no shenanigans, just straightforward. We just want permission to go in.
Mhm.
Do you have a seal?
Yes.
Good. He says, well, write a letter. I'll be happy to take it. I wouldn't mind a small compliment of their soldiers as well to carry me over.
Reasonable.
He says, as he flexes his muscle. I'm fine with that.
Lucas, can
We'll
you...
come back as fast as possible. I'll run.
Lucas,
If they can.
can you dictate a letter and I will write it?
Lucas says, yes, that won't be a problem at all, actually.
He's probably a better writer than me, actually.
I think my compose is probably better. If
Yeah.
not, someone's been somewhat remiss in
Max.
giving me extra experience points in compose.
Lucas, shut your face. I'm going to put them in other things, all right, mate? You've got briber 3, empathic 3, calculating 3, and deal maker 3. So
I'm much better face to face.
if it's writing though, I'm rather good with the
Yes,
quill.
you are. So, who's going to do
101.
the compose test? Compose.
Do you have
is
compose
writing.
writing?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it then. Can I assist him? Because I've got it too.
Yeah, totally can.
I do too,
These are
but not
advanced
very
skills,
much.
right? Writing?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Is writing advanced?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Hence your better.
I have composed
Um,
poems.
64, but if
Right,
it's
that's a success.
advanced-
That's good.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I've
we've
got
got ourselves some
success.
letters. We're good. Okay, then can we give
Make sure you give the right one.
Seal.
Right one.
Lucas will also take the letter because it's also good for him to have it.
Yep.
And then they can hike it off in their own direction.
Mhm.
They are almost certainly fine.
Well, do we want to, the other thing is Lucas
It's
asked
a
for a
single dice of doom, and if it rolls an 8, something may go wrong if a further 8 is
Okay.
rolled. For all, it's an
Plenty
extremely
of
dangerous place. It's currently relatively empty because nobody comes here.
So,
You'd have to be an idiot to be coming here just now.
do we need to roll
Okay,
for each
so-
person?
Yeah, one for each
Okay,
direction.
so
So
I'll
first,
do- I'll-
Sakinski
I'll do-
on their side.
Can I do that? Because he's like
Yeah, go for it. Sakinski.
3.
Fine. And Lucas' side.
Girls.
8. Ah!
2.
2, we're fine. So let's pick up the next day. Early in the morning, you're not sure when it is, but you were all having fitful sleeps. Unlike everyone else, we all slept relatively well. You slept like a log. The first to return is Sakinski. By some significant measure, as we'll soon see.
Randall.
He ran
He's
a good
got pretty
chunk of
long
the way.
legs, right?
Not
How's
even out of
Geralt?
breath. What a stud.
Pardon?
How's Geralt? Is he affected?
No, everything seems fine. Only the first night, it seems all right. Sakinski knocks on doors, wakes everyone up, and says, "I've got word back from the camp." He says, as you all gather in, let's say, Gerhardt's room. He's got one of the royal apartments. It's got enough space for the wall to fit in.
We're on the bunk beds.
Hey!
Move some stuff off here. You all right? You can sit
We've
down.
got so much room for activities in here.
Right. Here we go. So I spoke to him. It's General Raukov, all right. He's been ordered here by his elector count. He wouldn't say why. He wouldn't say on what business. There's at least, I would say, 2 to maybe 2,500.
Oh, wow.
They're well provisioned. There's a train going all the way down mountain, all the way back to, well, Sakinski itself. They're provisioning for war. There's no doubt about it. I mean, those soldiers are ready. They don't look anything like this lot. They're getting ready, and I don't know what for. They were bristly when I arrived. Not entirely happy to see me. They weren't too bothered about the Midland folk, though, so I think that even says something. As in, it looks more like they're going into middle than anything else. But one would expect that they'd have sent word saying they wanted to go in, but they haven't.
I think they're all affected by this change in the environment, aren't they?
How long ago was he ordered here? Do you know?
I don't know how long ago it was, but they've been
how
there
long
for
do you think?
about 2 weeks. So they came here before the other
Good
lot on
trouble.
the other side. Word between the camps is not exactly strong. They're camped slightly down the mountain a bit. I had to hike it down. It's about an extra 20 minutes. They're kept away from the main place. The actual walls themselves, that's my folk that are guarding that. Good man, actually.
The general.
Oh, no, the captain. I know.
Oh,
him.
right. Okay.
No. He taught me sword when I was...
Are they
Yoga.
as rattled as the ones?
He's going a bit spare.
Okay. But did we get permission?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It should be the captain, Gajamish, who gives it, but he said he couldn't without, and they said that they'd talk about it, so they'll send word themselves to us. But they've got the letter.
Okay.
I'll admit, quite surprised.
Did they give you a time frame on when they would?
Oh, no.
Well done. I am glad you accompanied us.
Aye, well, they wouldn't have let anyone else in.
And I'm glad you came back in one piece.
Aye, well, it's not that bad out. Dark. It's misty, but it's not that bad. It's not much different from when I was last here. It's a bit different. Feels a bit.
No nightmares yet.
Oh, I've not been asleep yet.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the reason why Lucas takes a good bit longer, because he has a nap
Fair enough.
over at the other camp.
Bless him. Quite
And
right.
he doesn't get back until approximately midday, although it's still twilight at your end. You've been awake by this point for a good 4, 5, 6 hours since he's come back. Possibly had a small nap, possibly not. Possibly had a little look around the soldiers. Possibly had a tour around the main keep itself, which is basically 2 sets of curtain walls, really. Well, 2 curtain walls, not 2 sets of them, with the camps on the inside of it. And most of the stonework is old, with that constant looming presence amongst the mist up in the distance. But yes, Lucas comes back, chatting amiably away with the bodyguards that he'd been given, the soldiers who have taken a shine to him. As he comes back and sits down again in the room. Right, so, well, this is something, isn't it? There's a mercenary group there, and they are under the employ of the Lieutenant of Taliban. And when I got speaking to their commander, a somewhat terse fellow, and he has a full complement. There's almost 5,000 there. Says, and they were not giving any hints as to exactly why they were there. They have cannon that they've somehow managed to get up the mountains. So this is not a small endeavor. One presumes it's one of the reasons why they have been hired, because as one soldier aptly put it, this is not something they've not done before. Swiftly moving through mountain terrain. They're quite used to it. It's not a cheap force. The money has been spent on this. I cannot fathom how much has been spent to get them up here in short order. They arrived approximately a week ago. They have only a single wizard with them, which is, I think, probably a lie. Bright order. I didn't speak to her, but I did see her at a distance. And I'm sorry to say, she's probably in her 30s. She's got red hair, sort of spiraled up, and like a flame, almost. Surprise. I saw her stalking around. She looked like she was quite moody. Maybe 40s, difficult to tell. But I did see her.
There's not going to be many.
There's not many that you're aware of, right? That's all.
Yeah. So.
The most surprising thing was that they had a tank, a steam tank.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's hardly any of those, and they've got one given to them directly by their lieutenant to do whatever. I feel that they're there to demolish the place. I think that they've been given a commission. They wouldn't tell me what the commission is, but I can think of no other reason why one would bring such artillery up to this place. And the fact, I think it's very possible the general has been sent in response to the troop movements.
Yes.
And very possibly the general is there to say, no, they can't do whatever it is that they want to do.
Wouldn't it suit the painters if the place was demolished?
Well, not if they're using us as a base.
No,
if-
but
if
in
they
terms
want
of
to release
releasing.
ones.
Oh, yes.
Possibly. We don't know what is that. So,
Or if, they will kill each other and then they can use it without.
Do we know Dagmar is part of the painters, but do we know if these other things are, or are they just on their own?
Things, as
yeah.
in,
they're far more likely to be working on their own reconnaissance, I think.
they're probably just doing their own thing.
Sorry.
No,
I
sorry, it's carry
apologise.
on. I was done.
You know the difficult to describe the rat-faced beastman.
My
that we
previous
met.
family.
Yes, that we met recently. Much to mine and Yume's and yourselves' pain. But that one seemed different or upset with another one that you knew, and
It's a constant state of
but
unrest.
he got very angry at you at one point, and I think you even took a beating
As
because
much as this might be useful, I think continuing my report might be better.
Sorry,
so
yes.
we have all the information.
Yes.
I'm quite convinced that they probably have a grey wizard there. I can think of no other way that they could have got the tank up. I had a good friend once when I was younger who used to tell me about how they used bridges. And the Grey Order have methods of transporting large, heavy things in a way that the other orders don't. The other orders tend to be personal, as far as I'm aware. So I think it's very likely that there's at least one Grey mixed in amongst their ranks. Because I cannot think of any way that they could have got that tank all the way up there. It's a sizable machine, and there are some terrible roads on the way up. I was asking about it, and the soldiers were quite happily giving up, saying, "Oh no, we had to actually stop in one afternoon. It was so hard to get up, and that was on foot." It's not like the Midland side where it's got a relatively easy curving road, but a relatively easy ride-in. So one feels that they probably have more wizard support than they're claiming. As to what they're doing, I don't know. I didn't want to push too hard because I didn't want to accidentally cause any potential friction.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep it light unless we wanted to go there. They have accepted an invitation. And when I attempted to get them to come to me, that invitation very quickly turned into something quite different, which was an invitation in return. Where they are more than willing to speak to the Jaegers, and they are aware of who we are and what we represent. And that's about it. In terms of the overall, there is a lot of them over there.
But no permissions or anything along those lines?
No, pardon?
No permission to enter from their end?
Oh, absolutely not. They'd rather speak to you directly.
Fine. Do that first.
If there is
After all,
potentially,
they need to see the writ.
if there's potentially a grey wizard, and these people have been seeing things and stuff, could it be part of some unrest?
Okay. How did they seem over in that camp?
Restless, but I wouldn't say they're as bad as the forces that are here.
But they are further away, are they?
Yeah, their camp's about half a mile away from the main curtain wall.
It's not a bad point, though. I do feel there's other forces at play causing this unrest.
Could you, I still can't, I'm still figuring stuff out. Can you feel anything on that sort of front?
Oh,
I feel everything. I think because that's what's happening,
Yeah.
right?
It's just uncomfortable.
I just feel uncomfortable, and I can't pick out that would be the reason.
But perhaps if we get closer, you might get a clearer idea.
I think someone described it well earlier. It's quite like looking at a star, and that star being in the day next to the sun.
Right. Can't see the wood for the trees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all I can conclude is, to sum it all up, so to speak, I'm tired, is that you have an open window to go over there and speak to the commander.
Okay.
The commander is not responsible for giving you access, but he is.
Right.
He absolutely is. Everything that's happening over there is at the commander's will.
Yes. Is it that there's the local force that would usually give the
Yes,
position?
Captain Schiller, he's a Hocklander.
I thought it was
Right.
Bernhardt. Or is that
Commander
that's-
Bernhardt is the leader of the mercenary company.
Okay.
So Captain Schiller is responsible for the Hochland contingent, and he's the one who actually has to give the actual permission, but
Won't do it
you won't
unless-
get it without
yes.
Commander Bernhardt. Of that I have no doubt.
You'll be instructed to give us
Yeah.
permission.
Yes, most likely. I would speak to Bernhardt if
Okay.
I were to make a recommendation.
Thank you, Lucas. Excellent.
Well, if we're waiting for a response from General Ralkov anyway, should we just head to the telephoners?
It takes about 2 hours.
Okay.
Yes. There's no sense in waiting around.
Agreed.
Right. I suppose I'm going back.
No,
Can we not all go
you
back?
don't necessarily need to come back. I don't think. I think you've done what you need to do.
No, it is always good to have someone to make the introductions. It's already
Yes.
made. I've spoken to the commander, and he's a good man, I think.
And also, out of character, we can't leave the guy with Dealmaker
I
behind.
know.
Like,
But, like, he's tired and stuff.
yeah, but have you
he's gonna be
seen
in
the
a
rest
coach,
of us?
He's get the coach there.
No, there's no path. There's no
Maybe,
road. Pardon me. We have to
Someone could
hike.
carry him.
No, we can just hike. It's not
Sure,
too
you don't
bad.
want to just grab 30 minutes?
Yeah, some wine. Fortifying wine.
30 minutes, grab some breakfast, and that sort of thing.
Cheers.
Okay, good.
I had to sleep when I was over there. I wasn't so bad.
Well, is he? Do you know where this Bernhardt is from? Is he a
I'm
Talon?
not sure. He sounds Reiklander. I would guess Reichland, but I'm not convinced.
Can I do heraldry to try and pick out the name?
Bernhardt is his first name.
Oh, right.
Oh,
It is his first name.
Okay, I thought it was his.
Or is it his last? Do you even know?
Is he a clone?
Yeah. Who would say?
Gerhardt Bernhardt.
So, are we going to make our way over about half an hour afterwards and then hike
Yeah.
over?
Yeah.
It is almost certainly trouble-free.
Almost.
So then let's not roll.
So, if somebody could roll a d10 and not roll an 8, that would be great. Who's rolling it this time?
Go on, you.
I'll do it.
Okie dokie.
5.
5 is fine. The path is a steep climb, then a sharp drop, then a climb again, then up and down, and it's very much a twisting, turning, quite difficult to navigate path, but it's very smooth, very beaten down. It's clearly been used many times over the course of the last century or so, probably maybe millennia or so. It's not hard going. It's not like you need to do tests, but it's hard going because it's a lot of up and down, and occasionally helping each other up as you make your way across.
Can I just interject with
Yes.
something? I think you and I should stay close together in case there is a grey. Anything that they perceive accidentally could conceivably be me.
That's a good idea.
Good idea, yes, certainly.
I will stick to you
Although,
like
if I don't know how all this works, is it that I've got anything or everything or just one, and that's the one that's woken?
I don't know. If I knew more, I would help you. But I
Okay.
do not know. But I do know that
I'll yeah, no, it's a
that's
good
what
idea.
you were
I'll stick
training
to you.
in, and I have some of that.
I don't even think I was training in it. Just yeah, okay, I'll stick to you. It's fine.
But I think that might be the nature of the wind, that you're not aware you're being trained in it.
Your first task was to not be a noble for a day. That was your training.
Right. Okay. Did I do that?
No, you failed.
No. I don't remember that.
It was
No.
the day that Birdie died. You were asked
I
that
remember
day
that.
by Sigfeder to not let anyone know you were a noble.
Right.
But when Birdie died and you needed to help her, you dropped your charade.
Rightfully so.
Right.
That was the day he can't remember because of the spell.
Oh, yes, that's the day you can't
Jerry the
remember.
Badger.
So,
What?
rightfully,
You had
so
that one persona.
you made a decision to help your friend instead of seeing through what your master requested. That was a moral decision.
Okay.
But with Ulgu is a tempting wind, and it brings great power. And usually you are trained from a young age to put aside bonds of friendship, of kin, of political leaning, of love.
It's going to be difficult.
Exactly. And Sigfeder asked you to do that day, but when you needed your power, you used it for yourself. That was the lesson.
Okay.
Not
Is it-
your nobility power.
Your
Oh.
nobility power.
Mm.
But
Right.
power is power.
Yeah, no, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
but he
use-
was clearly confused.
Yes,
So-
yes.
So well, no, I just thought I didn't do it for myself. I thought I did it for Birdie.
Yes, but why did you do it for
For
Birdie?
myself, makes me feel better, probably. Yes, okay.
No,
I
because you
understand.
love her.
Oh, right, sure.
We're friends.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did it because you
You
didn't
made
want
the
to see your
background
friend
stand
hurt.
like-
I'm proud.
Yes.
I'm
And that
very
is
proud of
and that is not a fault in your character, but for this wind to be a diplomat, to be hidden, to not push yourself forward, to not use the wind in the way the wind wants to be used, that is the only test you must pass.
Right. That's why you lie.
No, but yes,
Obfuscate. Probably closer.
Okay.
it is different for me. What color is the sky? God.
Green.
No,
Just did.
not to me.
Okay. I thought I was doing it.
No, I'm genuinely asking, what color is the sky?
And I said green.
Yes, and I know that for you, a human, it is blue
It's grey at the moment.
But
or grey.
I'm saying what it's not. So I'm.
No, but that's not the point. I'm not asking you to lie. I am telling you.
I'm just
Are we walking?
Yeah, yes, walking.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
trying
Yeah,
to
brilliant.
explain to you why, for me, I lie, but for you, That's not why I lie.
No.
What Algu means to me is nothing like what it means to you. But for you, as a human, that is the lesson you must learn. That is the limit of my knowledge. You have reached it.
Okay.
So just stay close to Alamino White.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do.
Try and focus your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Something
Think
else.
on something that you know.
We know that it affects you more, and you might get caught up in thinking about complicated plans and conspiracies and things like. Be aware of that because it's going to affect you more than others.
Think on your Think on your medical training. Think on the book you want to write about elves. Think about something that you just know and can focus.
Stick close to me
Okay.
and let's talk about elves.
Good idea. How many bones do you have? That's just imagine that we just do that for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, let's just-
You gotta
yeah.
start counting them.
I do not know.
Just imagine that's what we just go on all the time.
And she'll be like, I think probably just one.
Right.
The the elf bone. The difficult walk across the rise and fall of the Middle Mountains here does take about 2 hours. They are accurate. As Alamenowithe and Gerhardt chat away. Eventually, you reach the other side, and the mist parts to a pair of green-clad soldiers. One of them looks up and says, "Eh," as Lucas goes, "Oh, right, yes. We are here by the invitation of Commander Bernhardt." She says, "So take us to him, please." Says, and they just points that way. Right, yes, of course. Says, "Thank you very much. This way." It's another 20 minutes. Wending roads. Till eventually you arrive at a great big open valley plain where there are tiers and tiers of tents. A wooden palisade blocks it entirely off to one side, and blue and red troops are everywhere, like they're from Altdorf. Well, Reichland rather than Altdorf. Altdorf's white. Right, they're from Reichland. Am I getting it back
Other
from
way
there?
around.
Other way around?
Yeah.
Altdorf white.
Altdorf's red and blue, Reichland's white.
Sure, whatever. I've only written it like 20 times. I'll go with that.
It's because it's right.
Is it?
Altdorf are definitely red and blue.
100% is right.
Yeah.
Sure. They're red and blue. That's all that matters.
I literally had an Altdorf army, Andy. You have my Altdorf army. They're red and blue.
Doesn't matter. Because the Growthbringers also red and blue. And
No, they're blue
laid
and
out-
red.
You've got to tell. Red plumes. And they're laid out across the other side of the wooden fence. Handgunners are over on the top where there is a square block of a fort, and they're sitting with their guns pointing, some of them, up the paths, others just holding and looking. As you come down, a couple of them point in your direction with smiles, and then put their guns back again. Nothing more than a
I'll wave at them.
as you make your way over. The gates open as you arrive. And there's a gentleman with a big, huge moustache and a helm on. He goes, "I see you're back there, Lucas." As Lucas says, "Yes, this is my party." He says, "Everyone," he says, "this is Captain Lona. Captain Lona, this is Jungfreud Jaegers." And he goes, "Well, I suppose you're here to see the commander."
Yes, we are, Captain.
He says, "Well, you were expected, so we'd better take you to see the captain." He says, "Commander, which one do you want?" He says, "We'd rather speak to the commander." "Are you certain?" He says, "Commander doesn't actually have anything to do with anything that's happening here." He says, "Yes, well, I think it's probably for the best, don't you think?" He says, "Oh, well, come this way then." He says, "Bit of a odd assortment of people," he says.
Yes.
"Oh, we've got one of your order here. Wizard."
Name?
Says, "Oh, she's got one. She shouts it a lot sometimes. She talks about burning things all the time. I try to keep my distance. It's something foreign." He says, "Foreign."
Shouts around then.
Well, he said, yeah, you'll be surprised.
Jot that down.
We were doing training, and she let loose, and then she called me darling, which was most...
Oh.
Wizards! You never can be certain about them. No offense. He says as he smiles.
None taken. Especially brights.
Well, quite. Although we were drinking. He says, I'm not entirely certain that she likes her college much between you and me.
Interesting. And you don't remember her name?
Oh, I remember it. I just don't like it. He says, he makes his way through the camp. To either side, a host of different units. Some of which are in green and white, some of which are in red and blue, some of which are, well, over there, in bright green. Over on the far side there, quite clearly an engineering group. There's a large works and there's a small tunnel, small mine perhaps, and two cannons poking out a different direction, relatively small in terms of cannons, though great cannons, more like all right cannons.
Passable
Good cannons.
They're quite.
Are there any troops in black with a dragon insignia on their
Troops in
heraldry?
black and dragons, there's not. As he makes his way through, points out, if you do get just don't go near that lot. Says they're bad borderlanders. Says we picked them up when we were last down there. I mean, they're good at what they do, and that's it. I don't advise drinking with them either. Do not advise drinking with them. He says.
What do they look like they do? So, are they?
They're
Is there a
just
particular
lots
type of weapon?
Lots
or-
of soldiers sitting around their camps and fires.
So they
So-
don't have like
No.
Pike regiment.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
That's
Yeah.
what I'm
no
getting at.
obvious
Yeah,
signs of what particular
yeah.
weapons.
So maybe
they're using.
something small then.
As you're taking over to a relatively
There's a lot of cannons in these areas.
large tent. I mean, it's not that big. It's about 30 feet to a side. It's big in terms of tents, but in terms of giant command tents that you've seen in your time, not that big. And a flag, red and blue, hanging down from it. Standing at the front of it is two guards. Help, Lorna. Another one goes, sir. He says, we're here to see the commanders here. Yes. Give me a moment, I'll just go tell them that you're here. It's handy having sharp ears. Commander says, the Jaegers are here. Small party. Says, what do they want? Says, they told you anything? No. Did you ask? No. Could have asked. He says, yep. Actually, now you say that, I feel a little bit foolish. I probably could have asked. I could have had a little bit of foresight. I didn't. You're tired. Yeah, I'm tired. How do they look? They look quite fresh. Says, so the man was probably telling the truth. Not been here for long. Good, well, see them in. See what they want. Says.
Ready?
And the commander comes out. Only Alaminowise and Leopold call Confrontation. As he comes out and says, all right, we can come in.
Did we rehearse on the way over what we're going to say?
You can have a moment if you wish to do so. Oh, God.
Just so we have the opening, like...
Well, surely Lucas should say something at
Yeah,
the start.
like, yes, exactly. Lucas should state our business.
Excellent.
Yes. Perfect.
Oh, so good to have him back.
You know, like, fuck, Lucas is back.
Delegation is the key to good leadership.
Yeah.
Spades.
Lucas, I do not wish to speak. Please speak.
As on the other side is presumably Commander Bernhard. Yes?
No, sorry, I was always going to say, all I'm doing is WWSD. What would Spengler do?
He's got short dark hair, a small moustache, and a small goatee sitting underneath as he looks over. He's a bit poorly shaven to either side. And Lucas steps forward and says, Commander Bernhard says, I would like to introduce. Says, now, the question is, how do you want to be known?
Oh, this is
Dr. My Lord, wasn't it?
my lord. What am I again? My lord, Doctor. Oh, wait. I'm a baron, mother flipper.
Yeah, no,
How
no,
does
no,
that...
no, no. But you're not, because this might be a Reichländer. So we're Jungfreud's Jaegers precisely for the purpose that we might be hunting the Jungfreuds. We might be hunting on behalf of the Jungfreuds. Who knows?
We don't have to be Jungfreuds to be Jungfreud's Jaegers.
So I think we should be introduced. You're our Dr. Gerhardt on the business of the ground.
Has Lucas said anything on this front already?
Yes,
if
he's already introduced you as of House Jungfreud.
Right.
Oh, well,
okay.
fine. Well, that,
Yeah.
easy.
I don't want to start
So
sorry.
part of
Hi.
House Jungfreud,
Hello. Lying to
thank
you.
the question is rank. He, for example, runs a mercenary company. Takes
Yeah.
the rank of commander.
Okay.
Are you taking a military rank? Are you the captain of this
No, I
particular
don't do
crew? Are you just Lord Gerhardt? What exactly are you taking in terms of rank?
My Lord Doctor.
Doctor.
My Lord Doctor.
Okay, good. As he says, I'd like to introduce you to my Lord Gerhardt. He says. He says, of House Jungfreud. And Commander Bernhardt turns around, looks to you, bows slightly and says, you're far from home. I believe you carry permission to be here.
Yes, I very much
Can I see it, please?
You are.
And takes it out. Looks at it. Well, it seems everyone's on the move. Passes it back to you.
Sure.
What does the Graf want?
Well, I'll do one answer. Vengeance. I'll add more to half that answer. There was an assassination attempt, and we believe that the individuals who are responsible are currently in...
What do you want of me?
Oh! Permission to go into Braskeep.
I see, sir. You're looking for permission to go into... And you believe your assassin is there?
Correct.
There has been no one crossing the open field. We have eyes, though.
That's fine. I say believe. We know, actually. Thanks to our blessed priest of Sigmar.
He
you guys don't
arches an
like
eyebrow
they're right-handers.
and looks over towards the good father. Looks back to you and says, you know what exactly? So,
We know where our target, our quarry, currently resides, and that is in Braskeep.
And we have reason to believe they came from underneath rather than across the grass.
tunnels
Tunnels.
to Braskeep. Well, that's news to me. What sort of tunnels?
Labyrinthine, probably.
Many tunnels, dwarves.
Hard to say.
Skaven.
Oh.
Poker face! Poker face! Everyone put on your poker faces! This is the time!
What was the first one again? Dwarf.
Dwarves?
Down.
On that, can I please have cool test?
I'm literally rolling like 0-0 or 0-1. So one success.
A mere pass. That's a pass.
One success.
Good, good.
6 successes.
Am I
Your face
resisting
gets
a no? No, I'm kidding. But 2 successes.
2 successes, that's good.
Yep, 2 successes.
Does Gerhardt spit out in his feet? What?
Just cover it.
Fortune point.
Just cover it with choking if needs be.
Critical.
Oh!
6, baby.
Calm.
Just wink at
Nothing.
him.
7 and 10.
So,
Yes.
it's you, Skaven.
Rat-faced beast.
Another crit. So,
Was that a
That's
fumble?
pretty.
No.
No, it was a crit and a crit. It was
Oh.
because it
11,
explodes.
19,
isn't it?
19
Okay.
successes
So
on a crit.
5, 6, 19. Just nothing.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Anyway. It could be Dwarven, could be Skaven, could be naturally occurring, or a
It won't be
combination of all
naturally
three.
currently it's going to that place.
Well,
What makes you think there's tunnels? Have you been in them?
no, but the people that we're pursuing have made extensive use of them up until now.
Why is your nose so sensitive, Father?
Sorry?
Why is your nose so sensitive? Exactly how are you?
I'm an oracle.
An oracle. Sigma.
It is because of him we saved the Graf's life from these assassins. He has steered us true, and he tells us the quarry is in there with a fell purpose. and we must enter to protect Middenheim and beyond.
And the lives of all your men, probably.
Sergeant! He calls. And soldier sticks his head in. Goes, yes, sir. Says, get the elf.
Puts up
They're
another
not, yeah, they're not.
He rugby tackles her.
Yeah, just because they're not. Okay, cool. It's not like seize the elf. It's
Get
fetch
another elf.
another
Yeah.
elf. Okay.
Just one elf.
It's a fair point. That order was open to misinterpretation.
Fortunately, he interpreted it the other way. As he looks over,
Like, they've got
and you intend to go into the keep. Well, that sounds very dangerous to me.
So,
Mhm.
You're aware it's become active.
Yes,
apparently.
we felt it as soon as. Well, some of us.
I've been advised that it's exceedingly dangerous.
Mhm.
Gonna move close to Alan anyway. Just with the elf thing.
Oh, the elf. Okay. No, we know it's dangerous, but we have orders.
To enter the keep. And you're looking for permission from me. Well, you won't have long.
Because
Tomorrow, we begin our assault.
Right.
on the keep.
Cannon.
Has that not been tried before?
Says, not by my cannons.
No, fair, but
I hear you have a steam tank as well.
Half smile. We do have a steam tank, yes.
can I have a go? Can I just sit on top?
Excellent.
Can we put the wee one on?
He looks at you. Have you ever seen one before?
No, I haven't. I've only looked.
Clearly. Says, if you would like to be introduced to the engineers, I could organise that for you. However,
You don't really have
given that
time.
you don't have a lot of time, if you intend to invade said place and extract yourself before we begin our ordered assault, then you might not want to waste the time.
No, okay.
There's no way we could convince you to delay slightly.
No, we are on a very strict time schedule. It has to go off at a particular time. Much like yourself, says, we are moving to divine order.
Can I ask the source?
Tal.
Interesting.
I think it makes sense.
Do your business guy on the level thing.
Yeah, but it requires me to like get my bones out.
Yeah.
Like it's not subtle.
Going to get my bone out.
Well, we all got our bones out.
That might disguise what I'm doing with my bones.
What
Pal
about
might
those?
approve.
Well, yeah, what about those of us that don't have them? She's only got the wall.
Just the one bone,
bone.
actually.
Nice.
So we're moving to a very strict schedule, and we are going to follow it through. I have been paid, and I will ensure that it happens as intended. You're lucky you got here early.
What time are you due to make your assault specifically?
He says, midday tomorrow.
Right.
And sorry,
I don't suppose with either like lore history or some other lore, there's ever been an argument about the imperial calendar
Oh, there's been more arguments about Imperial calendar.
that could
Yeah.
potentially be useful for this context.
Yeah, there's indeed
what
even,
about daylight savings?
there is indeed
Yeah, exactly.
even a master of time who is responsible for controlling the calendar who lives in Upper.
I would imagine though if it was Divine Oracle, they wouldn't have said, can you do it on Festag? They would have said like when the bloody blah in 4 days time. Like they're highly unlikely to have adopted a
On
dating system.
divine order from the graph.
No, he says, not at all.
What does Elric know of?
High Hierophant.
Okay, tiles.
And he received a vision of what was going to happen here.
What is that? That you?
That's not my business.
No.
I have a job to do and I will do it.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can, Father.
Is the High Hierophant blind?
I don't know, I've never spoken to him. I'm an order of the Atletica, not the High Hierophant specifically. But I've received a full briefing.
So because of the consequences of what the Hierophant saw, you have been ordered to assault with your cannon.
And to level the place, yes. And I will.
understand.
tomorrow.
And
We
Midday
start
tomorrow.
tomorrow at midday.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. At least we're all clear on when.
Then we do not have long to get
Yeah.
in and out.
We still need to talk to the Ostlanders, though.
Yeah.
Well, they said they'd send word.
The tent flap behind you shifts
The elf.
and an elf comes in. About 7'4". Tall, lean, and very male.
Very
He's got his bow, right? Nice one, Chad.
Chad energy.
Clearly,
He's got
I'm,
two boats.
shrinking into my scarves a bit. I'm not here.
As he has a rune painted on the side of his face. It's the
What is
rune of Azurin. He has a burning flame tattoo up this arm and the same on this side. He is wearing white with a blue half cloak sitting off at the back. As he comes in, looks over at her and says, "What do you wish of me, Bernhard?" Bernhard says, "I want you to review the elf."
Prepared to be reviewed.
Looks over and
Good form.
says,
7
"I
out of
have
10.
no interest in the elves of the Laurel Lawn. And I do not like the way that you just summon me like this. That is the last time you and I will discuss this matter. I go out to a tank here, is that not enough?" As he says, "You were paid well for that." "Yes, but I was not paid to put up with this insolence. I am done with all of these things. Looks at that wizard, and that wizard, and that wizard, and that wizard. I will have nothing to do with them. I am done with this place. I will not see your tanks back down." "We only have one." "And yes, you will, because you were paid." "Oh, well, I will." He says, "Fine, then I shall do it. For you as a personal favour." Says, "But that is the last one." And swirls out.
Give him a pen.
As
Do not.
as Bernhardt goes, "Well, there we go. Well, at least you're not a bad sort. That'll do for me." He says, "Then go speak to the captain. You have whatever permission is required from me." He says,
Thank you, Commander.
moves over and sits down, unless you have anything else. "Captain!"
Time is of the essence.
As Loner sticks his head in and says, "Yes?" He says, "Send him off to the captain, please." "Which one?" He says, "The captain." "Oh, right." "Yes, of course."
Couldn't we just leave Lucas to finish this and then we'll make our way
But
back?
we didn't bring
Finish
any
what?
men, so
No.
Yeah.
he'll be up by himself.
Let's go with him. And maybe he can talk to this other captain. We're going to brandish her.
If they're planning on attacking, doesn't that count as so? Like, do we need permission from the other people?
Well, I think
Well-
it's quite clever because it's only if you cross the line. So
You
they've got
shoot your
cannon.
cannons into it.
But surely that counts.
Probably not by the
Probably
letter
not,
of
yeah.
the law.
We're walking in, right? We're walking and talking on this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
To the captain.
Excuse me, Captain, sorry. If on the way,
Yes.
or if it is on the way, is it possible to go past the steam tank?
He says, "It's about 400 yards back that way. It's the opposite direction."
Here's
400 yards is really close.
It's not really.
Yeah,
He says,
Can
run
we,
the captain's up at the curtain wall.
Okay, fine, all right. Okay.
can we see it from there?
This is
Or
Shayla
is it
Louis all
much
over
miss-
again,
No,
isn't it?
they've ensconced it somewhere lest it be attacked by, I don't know what they think it's going to be attacked by, but they've hidden it.
I would just like to take a moment to say you're welcome.
No.
Okay.
That I restrain myself daily
Oh,
to make your
Yes.
lives
oh,
more
yes.
pleasant.
We appreciate that. yes.
Thank you, buddy.
He was nuts.
No,
Did
Who's
you
an elf?
recognize?
I think he was probably a zoo.
Hmm.
But
Looks back, says, "The elf." Caradris.
Caradris.
Caradris. Oh, I've no idea. He says, he's a walking pain in my rear, really. I hate him and everything about him. He knows it. I've told it to his face. We were drinking about it. He screamed, "Spittle. Spittle. I shall spittle."
Is he from Calador, do you know?
I don't even know what that
That
is.
would be a hell of a name. Jaegers from Paladin.
Wow, insensitive. Where did you pick him up, though?
He was hired by the commander.
But where? Or just...
Marienburg.
Okay.
Oh, did he have? This is out of character. Did he have the pin symbol thing that I'm supposed to look out for?
No, he did not.
Okay, cool.
He says, it's a bit of a hike. I can take you all the way there if you want. Commander's a nice captain, pardon me. He's an all right fella. He's a bit, well, he's been here a while.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Up off to the side, you can see the bright red tent of what is quite clearly the Bright Wizard. She is sitting at the front of it, tickling fire between her fingers as she sparks at the fire and looks, generally speaking, bored.
The bored Bright Wizard is a bad thing.
Do you want to connect?
Did you recognize her?
Nope, you don't.
No.
She's, you would guess, 30s, maybe 40s. She's a good bit older than you and very possibly just never been to college in the time you've been there.
Mm.
Yeah.
Out of courtesy, should you say hello?
Yeah. Elric will break away. He'll explain and then he'll break away.
Bonar says, what will we wait?
Oh, we can do, yes, certainly. We've gone up a slight hill, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gerhard is
don't
trying
wait.
to see
Just-
the tank.
You know
Go.
where?
As
Yeah.
we debrief and just jog
Yeah,
to
I'll
catch
catch
up.
up. Yeah, don't wait.
Why don't you just ask Elemenor nicely if you could borrow her telescope?
Can I borrow your telescope, please?
But it's been hidden.
It doesn't work for you. Well, look,
Oh no, I've tried this before. It doesn't, does it?
no, it doesn't.
Can't do all. Can't look through a scope.
Can't ride a steam tank. What's the point?
Why? As you make your way up, she sees you as you make your way up, and a half smile twitches across her face as she looks down, stands up, and says, "Well, it's a Bright Wizard. You here to ban something? I'm here to ban something, and they're not letting me ban anything. How about you? Are you in the employ? I hope you're in the employ of the good, an actual wizard. That would be better."
Not a Bernhardt, no.
Checking the keys. She's just a wizard. Of that age seems unlikely. She would almost certainly be a magister. She is just a wizard. Why? As she says, "You had to sit."
I'll sit. Another escapee of the college.
She looks over. Fuck the college. She says, as she looks down, "At your party?" "Well, that's your party, isn't it?" "But an elf," she says, "and a knight, and a priest, and
It's
a
like
child."
it's like a really bad job.
She
I know.
says.
But it gets me out of college.
In college. College. Why are you here?
Sorry, I'm Elric.
Says, "Sienna," she says, "what can I do for you? Why are you up here? I'm not going to give you any of the keys."
No, I'm not interested.
No, neither am I.
I also don't think you could give me any of my keys.
No.
They seem to be the same.
She smiles. "You don't like the college? Bookish lot, aren't they?"
Not in my experience.
Well, I consider them bookish.
Who did you study under?
No one. Come on, darling, we don't study. She says, "Study? That's my problem with the college. No, I didn't do that. Study. I am fire." As her eyes burn and her hair lights up and her fingers go and it flickers across her face as she lets it go. At least that's what I like to tell people.
Yeah, does that work? Does it scare people?
It's fine. I'm fine.
No, it's the truth. Stupid college tried to tell me I wasn't. Well, they were wrong. Too slow. Too slow.
Okay.
He says, "Well, you know, Bright Wizards. Do you want to burn something? I mean, seriously, look at the tents. It's been bloody gloomy here. All that bloody mist. I'm sure we could get them to burn. It'd be something to do. Do you want to do it?"
Think you'll have something to do tomorrow.
Well, that's tomorrow, isn't it? Apparently I'm not allowed to cross the lines. I've got to do everything at arrange. Well, I've tried to melt stone before. I have been successful in the past. I think I'll be successful this time. I'm probably saying more than I should do. Politics. Who cares, darlings? Who cares?
Well, that's my lord calling me now.
Oh, wine. You want some wine? As she pulls out a bottle. Do you want to fuck?
No, that's all right.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
Yes, I should try my better line, shouldn't I? I love the Bright College.
That doesn't work either. But,
No, it
you know,
doesn't, does
best of luck.
Well, at least tomorrow there's going to be some fun. You're not going to chance going to be joining us, are you?
I'm going to be inside.
Perfect. Well, we'll see who's better actually, won't we?
Maybe.
All right, fuck off.
Yep, Taro.
Off you go. As Loner, leading your way up, says, "Oh, I hope he has better luck than I did. She's difficult to talk to. She's difficult to talk to, you know. She's
A bright wizard.
yeah. Well, I've known quite a few bright wizards. You know, they sit there studying their grimoires and throwing fireballs and such like. Not her. No.
She's insane.
I goes, that. Yes, actually that.
Well, that bodes
She's
well.
what they warn against. Embrace and actuate.
Ah,
Yeah. Is it wise to have someone like that in a camp full of gunpowder?
No. She's not our problem.
Okay. No, true. Very true.
No, she's mine. Says Loner.
Until tomorrow midday, I guess.
I can't remember his name. Do you think he's married?
Right, to the captain. The captain is a relatively short fellow. He's got a long beard and he's wearing a very broad green and yellow outfit. Barely called a uniform. An outfit is better. Big green hat on. And he's sitting there with a goblet of white wine, supping on it, and he says, "So you've been sitting then? All right, fair enough. I've been told that I've got to let you through. If you want to go through, that's your problems. I mean, they're at least putting their cannons on the walls. You're not going to be putting cannons on the walls, I trust. You're just going to go straight in. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. I really don't care. I mean, if you want to go in, I mean, on your own, like, you know, something's gone wrong in there. I mean, this place has gone mad. It's gone mad. You realize that? This place has gone mad. There is something wrong here. If I were you, I would just leave. I need to see you writ. I need to see you writ. I need to see you writ. Yeah, sure, whatever. He doesn't even know. You don't even know what the scope is. It sounds good to me. Right. Sergeant, go get the seals because I'm going to need to give them permission. And it's as easy as that.
Wow, nice.
He provides all of the permission required with a quick letter that says, and I quote, "You can go in." Signed by him with his seal pressed upon it.
Kiss my rose.
do the rest of the men around as we're going through look as jangled
There's
as the guys in Middenheim?
Totally
From
messed up.
Middenheim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very tired. So you've got what you want from this side.
To the Ostlanders.
Going all the way around to the Ostlanders.
Is it faster to go the other way?
It's pretty much the same either way, but you won't get a guide from your own guys if you go the other way.
Yeah.
We also
yeah,
need to know what their message back
Yes.
through, don't
I
we?
guess.
We need to wait for the
Yeah.
invite.
Yeah, because they might just have said, yeah, fine.
You don't suppose that they might wait, because these lot had obviously a timing-based thing that they need to do. Do you think the Ostlanders have something that they may want to achieve, and therefore will only send an invite back once they have done it?
I have a theory.
Oh yeah.
It's a wild one, so, this is as we're walking back. Do you think they're the backup plan in case we don't succeed? That if something, the gods are involved. We've been sent here. But if we don't make it and something is unleashed, then wouldn't it make sense to have a couple of armies ready to roll? Take it, whatever.
If
I think
potentially, sorry, go
No.
ahead.
Sure, I don't mind. Okay.
So polite.
I do think it might be a backup plan, but not necessarily of good gods.
Well, there is that as well. It's
The specific timing reminds me of much of Dagmar and,
Hierophants. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
open this thing up, release something.
If they're
If there are people, and there always are people, who are thirsty for power, this place is power. And should one of those people see a blank spot, they may interpret it as a weakness in which they can make a power grab. It may be nothing more than a shadow passing over Brass Keep, making people believe that it is their time to triumph.
I have no idea what you're talking about, says Lucas. But I'm sure that it's very profound.
Does everyone else?
Is it ultimately, we look for plans and ultimately the main issue is always going to be that the evil of men is going to be worse than anything that could possibly stagnate something?
Maybe
No.
next time
plans aren't
try
important.
as a 575. For
All right, give me a moment.
I sometimes find you confusing, Eleanor.
I do not know how to make that more simple.
No, I get it. Like, it makes sense. Like, clearly, like, they say divine. Like, we don't know why, like, what their hierophant was wanting to look for. Maybe the thing he was asking his god for was an opportunity to take this area.
Yes, what I'm trying to say is, if you can see the future and the world around you, and you always see something that is there that you want, the minute that thing is dimmed by a shadow passing over it, you may interpret that as a weakness in which that is the time at which you can pounce. So the coincidence is simply that tomorrow at midday,
We'll be
sadly,
there.
we will still be inside.
Oh, right, no, that's awful. I should like to stay in camp.
Yeah.
He says,
That seems reasonable.
I think that would be for the best.
So,
So,
somebody should send word of our demise.
are we going all the way around to the Ostlanders?
I think we're going back to the Middenheimers
Yep.
first.
And then,
To
so at the Middenlanders, you have an open invitation to attend the Ostlanders if you wish. They will see Jungfreud Jaegers. They've sent a whole contingent who are currently camping with the Midlanders having a drink.
To take us back.
They're
Awesome.
supping down on Kvass, necking it.
Will they share?
No. So if you wish to go round, you can.
I guess we should.
Yeah.
The Ostlander says, "Are you sure you want to come? You could stay here. Is better."
Time is
Here is
important.
best than over there.
Da.
Sorry. Again, sorry.
I am giving order to persuade you to stay.
Oh,
He says, "My general does not like talking much." He says, "I am not supposed to say this. I am supposed to be quiet. But I do not care. I'm too tired." He says, "So I'm just telling you straight as favor to me. I maybe give you a drink if you say, stay here." Huh?
no, as Ulrich says, time is something, so we
This is
have to
bullshit. He says,
Yeah.
"This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Then you can come to camp. See if I can. Come on. It is this way. Bullshit.
Why did you offer us bullshit as a drink?
Bullshit." He says,
Ooh.
as he leads you around to the other camp. The other camp is much smaller. Black and white everywhere. Red bulls showing on each one of the pennants. A single tower with a red bull in the center. The symbol of House Roukov. The general, supposedly, is this. Down there by the command tents. There are a lot of pennants here. Many officers. Anyone with lower warfare, you don't even need to make a test, can see this for what it is. The forward camp. And the officers are up here. The rest of the army is probably elsewhere.
As in on the way, or
You can be certain where it is exactly. But here there's hundreds camped out around here. Knights. Horses down there. No cannon. Like a lot of soldiers. Mostly foot. As the general leaves you at the edge of the camp as they go in, and he comes out to you. Well, Raukov is not a tall man. About 5'5". Big, long moustache. Big, huge, pointed, felt-like hat. He looks very Eastern Empire. His skin is quite dark in shade. He looks at you all in some cases. On his back, there's a large bow, a quiver sitting on the other side. And he goes, and then looks at you. You'll be the Jungfreud.
Yes.
Yeah. You look like your father.
Oh, no.
You reckon he's probably in his 40s. Says, I knew your mother. She's a good woman. Says, why do you want in? What's Boris got to do with this place?
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliments, my mother.
I don't care about your words.
Okay.
Get out with it.
We wish to pursue assassins.
Bullshit. Assassins. Keep like that, I don't think so.
They're not your usual sort of assassin.
What we're talking about.
Cultist-based assassins.
In there, I doubt it.
What, Bastion?
Well, we know for a fact that they're in
Who are you?
Do.
Lady Knight, Birgit Helstein, of House Helstein and the Knights Panther.
Helstein. I just see your bishop as a Helstein here. Come on. Show it to me.
There you are.
That's right.
We are presenting a united front from Middenheim.
Yeah, what's going on here? Father says, Father looks at you. Hi, Father.
Hello.
He says, why are you here?
As he says, we're pursuing cultists, and we know we're in there.
That is the full measure of your tale.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else.
It's technically not a lie. Yeah. No, I'm okay.
Yeah. Turns around to one of the soldiers. He says, get the damn tire thing, will you? So, runs off. It's your an odd party. Jungfreud Jaegers, you call yourself. Is that right?
Correct.
Who are you hunting?
Well, those who
Tried to kill the Graf.
currently, and then
Your mercenaries.
to a degree, yes.
I was sure.
Yeah, it's a business like any other. There's mercenaries under my command right now. Coming out from a tent on the other side is a woman. About 5'6", dressed in white. She's bald.
I shift over towards Anna.
Dressed in white might be charitable.
You'll find
She has strands of white material hanging down to her front. It barely covers anything. She's barefoot as she makes her way somewhat gingerly across the rocky land between where you are to where.
Did he say Hierophant again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hierophant! She looks out over at him and says, yes, Lord General, what do you want? Says, these people tell me things. I need to know whether they're truth. What things have they said? Says, which one? Says, this one here, Jungfreud. Why are you here, Jungfreud?
We are pursuing assassins who made an attempt upon the life of Boris Topringer.
Well, can I see you? It's the truth. The truth. They're pursuing assassins. Looks over. Assassin hunters. That seems so unlikely. He folds his arms. Here. I can only say what I can say. Father. He says that's it. Didn't you? That's the summation of what you have for.
Yes. I was led here by a vision from Sigma.
That's true. My apologies, Father. He bows once. My apologies.
Best to be sure.
Assassins in there.
Mhm.
Well, that makes things complicated. What sort of assassins are you talking about, Father? And apologies. for doubting your
Cultists
word.
of the ruler's powers.
In that. Perfect. Yeah. He says, he's telling the truth. No, what I'm saying is that's not what you said. As she raises her non-existent eyebrows.
Does she have
doesn't have
hair
any.
at all?
Nope, none at all.
Any chance? Just quick glance over. There's not. There's not a. I know, obviously, very nude.
Yes.
It's not a little.
No,
hand of tattoo purples
Feel free
anywhere.
to perv as you wish.
Doing it for a good cause.
Excuse me, where's the tattoos? As
As a doctor, of course.
Sure.
and
Yeah.
she's exactly as she says, "Oh, I ain't no seer." She says, I'll tell you the truth as I see it, and that's the truth as I see it." He goes, "Right. You're coming with me."
On
Was
my
he
own.
pointing at Gerhard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says, "Well, if you need all your people with you, then bring them with you if you must. I don't care."
No, thank you.
Says
Appreciate
she
it.
comes down. "And you absolutely certain there's people in there?
Yes,
Cultists, you think?"
correct. What it looks to trouble you, that
It does.
information. Why, if I may ask?
Well, you'll find out, I suppose, one way or the other. Look, I am not a very superstitious man. I'm a very superstitious man, I suppose, but I'm not a very superstitious man in this way. Not when it comes to prophecy. I was told to be elves in there.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. My thoughts also. Elves, prophecy, some nonsense I don't understand. I've been sent up here for. My light account has not been right since his son left. My light account is quite convinced that it's all to do with something here. Between you and me, I think he has gone mad.
Right.
His Sigma is not guiding his footsteps any longer.
Well, we believe he does guide ours through Leopold here.
Well, let us see, will we? He stops, halfway down. "Bluntly, my lord, I'm in a state of rebellion. You may not wish to be associated with me."
I just want to clarify this from Ed's position. State of rebellion against his elect account, or
You can say whatever you wish. You're not sure.
Can I do a quick politics roll to get some sort of
You don't know.
based on that?
No, you just don't know. Make your own guess.
Maybe empathy?
Ed, we don't need to be associated with him. We just need his permission.
That is true. Yeah, fine. Thank you. Good advice from my wizard. It is fine. Look, all we need is your permission to go in.
I was ordered here to do something by the elect count, and I do not intend to see it through.
Oh, right, good.
I'll be advised by another party. Says. And I think that party, you should probably talk to them.
May we inquire as to what your orders were? Were they to attack and attempt to destroy it at midday tomorrow?
No. Quite the opposite.
To protect it.
Yes.
Oh.
But instead,
Someone's
you're
trying to start
going
war.
to.
I will not go to war with the forces of Talabheim, regardless of their mercenary composition. I will not, and I will not order my men to do so. Not over that. I've been here before. It was not like this beforehand, he says, as he moves over towards the tent, and you hear on the inside, General, 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 General. As he says, Hi, Father. And you hear from inside. Did you find out who they were? He says, Yes. Are you going in? As you make your way in, on the other side, there's a Sigmarite priest.
Hope it's not.
Metal
Hope it's
band
not G-Forge.
around his head. He has tattoos of hammers across his skull. A silver hammer sitting at his chest. The elector count to be, we follow strictly the real path of Warhammer. But maybe not. Raukov steps forward and goes, Hi, Father. You said you wanted to see them, so here they are. As the High Father looks up and goes, I did not expect to see you here, Leopold. It's Luther Huss.
Luther?
He goes, Leopold, what happened to your eyes?
Sigmar took him.
You know, I think the end times are coming, my friend.
Oh, they are.
And then he closes his eyes and goes, General, I strongly advise you do not assault that place. And Raukov says, Rebellion it is then.